local across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's 6 o'clock. I'm Simon Oxley. The headlines: Hertfordshire man charged with Hatton Garden raid, online warning after Aylesbury teacher banned, and Stevenage to confirm Teddy Sheringham as their new manager.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
A man from Hertfordshire is among 8 men who have been charged over the raid on a Hatton Garden safe deposit firm in London. 58-year-old Carl Wood from Elderbeck Close in Cheshunt has been charged with conspiracy to burgle, along with 7 others from London and Kent. The men are due to appear before Westminster Magistrates Court later. A 9th man has been released on bail pending further inquiries. More from Ben Ando.
The gang who carried out the raid climbed down a lift shaft, broke through security doors and drilled through half a metre of reinforced concrete to get into the vault in the basement of the Hatton Garden safety deposit firm. On Tuesday, police carried out a dozen raids on addresses in London and Kent, and 9 men were arrested. Now 8 have been charged with conspiracy to burgle.
The children's charity, the NSPCC, says children are lying about their age online all too frequently. It comes after an Aylesbury teacher who was banned from teaching after dating a 15-year-old girl. 40-year-old Jeffrey Tansey initially believed the girl he met on a dating website was over 18. More from Sophie Solaria.
Jeffrey Tansey from Aylesbury Grammar School arranged to meet the girl who was not from the same school for what was described as a date. During this meeting in 2012, he held her hand and kissed her twice on the lips before agreeing to meet her again. The Professional Conduct Panel of the National College for Teaching and Leadership found he showed a lack of judgment amounting to misconduct of a serious nature.
David Cameron is promising radical changes to control immigration and put an end to illegal working. In a speech this morning, he'll say the police will be given the powers to seize the wages of those working illegally. Police are continuing their search for a Hertfordshire man who went missing 2 weeks ago today. 58-year-old Brian Byrne from Hertford was last seen at his home address on the evening of the 7th of May. Searches took place on stretches of the River Lee near Broxbourne on Saturday. Train companies have started cancelling services over the bank holiday weekend because of a planned strike by thousands of Network Rail workers. Virgin Trains has scrapped all services on the West Coast Main Line on Monday and Tuesday. There will be no London Midland services between Milton Keynes and London. Thameslink are urging people not to travel and say there will be major disruption on Wednesday as well. In sport, former England striker Teddy Sheringham will be confirmed as the new Stevenage manager today. There's a lunchtime press conference at the Lamex Stadium. The former Spurs and Manchester United star will take over from Graham Westley, with Chairman Phil Wallace hinting at possible changes in the boardroom as well. Our Stevenage commentator Steve Watkins says Sheringham's arrival should boost attendances.
One of the big briefs at the moment to the chief executive is to increase the crowd base. He's not finding that particularly easy with the brand of football that's been played. It's winning football, but it's not been the most attractive at times.
The weather: a dry day with warm sunshine this afternoon, a maximum temperature 19 degrees Celsius, and you can get the latest news and sport online at bbc.co.uk/3 counties.
Too much too young. You done too much, much too young. You're married with a kid when you could be having fun with me. You done too much, much too young. And now you're married with a son when you should be having fun with me. We don't want no more baby. Ain't taken, no we ain't. He's got another fight, another wild fast lane. You done too much, much too young. You're married with a kid when you could be having fun with me. No more baby. Call me immature, call me a poser. I'll spend a year in your bed on roses. Don't wanna be rich, don't wanna be famous, but I'm gonna have to say, hey, too much, much too young. You're married with a kid when you could be having fun with me. Bird and June, we don't want no picnic. You done too much, much too young. And now you're chained to the cook and making current buns for tea.
I mean. And I was playing that just because I fancied it. But boy, doesn't it time with the first story. Oh, cheeky. Morning, guys.
Across
Morning,
beds,
guys.
hearts and bucks.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
We got the listening figures in. There's literally no one listening to this now, so I'm going to...
We can say what we want.
We'll say what we want. I mean, no one listens, apart from some plum that wants to complain to the Daily Mail. I was at something last night, and some bloke came up and said, all right, Ian, I used to listen to you years ago on LBC. He said, no, I hadn't heard of you for ages. He said this, right? I hadn't heard of you for ages. Then I was on the toilet having a poo.
Oh, nice.
He didn't say that. He said having a... Yeah.
Oh.
He said, I was on the toilet having a poo, and you popped up on my Twitter feed. I was like, all right. He said,
he was having an eye poo.
He said, what was it? What was that scandal that you did on Twitter? I said, you're going to have to narrow it down a bit, because that's a bit vague. And he said, you had a scandal on Twitter. I said, oh, the Chinkies. That was what that was when we played the Blue Mink song, and we got in trouble because it's got that word in, that offensive word for Chinese people. Yes, that was it. I thought, yes, he's back. And I said, no, it was a complete misunderstanding. It wasn't a deliberate... He said, yeah, brilliant, I love stuff like that. I said, no, it wasn't... And then his wife showed me her bum. It was very weird.
Gosh.
Pulled her leggings down and everything.
What was on her bum?
A tattoo.
Oh, OK.
Now... The NSPCC say children all too frequently lie about their age online. Oh, really? You don't say? Gosh, there's a surprise, because we didn't used to do it when we were teenagers, but just in real life. It comes after an Aylesbury man was banned from teaching after dating a 15-year-old girl. 40-year-old Jeffrey Tansey initially believed the girl he met on a dating website was 18. So what did Tansey do?
Back in 2012, Jeffrey Tansey, who was an IT teacher, and he met a girl on an online dating site which was supposed to be for over 18s. But once they got talking, it emerged that she wasn't 18, she was 15. Hey. Even so, he arranged to meet her for what was described as a date. He admitted to a teaching and leadership panel that he kissed and held hands with the girl on this date and agreed to meet her again once it was over. But Jeffrey Tansey told the panel he'd only met her so he could assess her vulnerability level and alert the authorities to prevent her from putting herself at risk online in future. So I guess the second date was just to check that again.
Well, I guess that went down with the teaching panel and they gave him the thumbs up and he's still teaching.
No, they dismissed the attempts at explanation, stating that Tansey was inconsistent in his explanation of his actions, giving one version to the police and the school and another to the panel. The panel did not accept Mr Tansey's explanation as to the reason for this discrepancy, particularly given the police interview was under caution and with the benefit of the aid of a legal advisor. The panel ruled that Tansey's behaviour was of a sexual nature and added that his actions showed a serious lack of judgment and deliberate disregard for safeguarding protocols, and this amounted to misconduct of a serious nature.
What happens now?
Well, the panel decided it was unlikely that Mr Tansey would ever gain the necessary insight to demonstrate his understanding of why his conduct was inappropriate and that this would pose an ongoing risk to vulnerable young people in the future. It therefore ruled that not only would he be banned from teaching, but that ban should be indefinite. Now, although the panel was conscious that the conduct took place out of the education setting, there was no suggestion that this girl was one of his pupils. The panel found that Mr Tansey's misconduct was serious and had a negative impact on his status as a teacher, potentially damaging the public's perception of teachers, and therefore had the potential to bring the profession into disrepute.
And what has Aylesbury Grammar School said?
Well, Mark Sturgeon, the headmaster of Aylesbury Grammar School and Mr Tansey's former employer, said the school was made aware of an allegation of inappropriate conduct by a teacher in relation to a young person. The alleged behaviour was unconnected with his role at the school, and no current or former students of Aylesbury Grammar School were involved in the matter. Mr Sturgeon said that the school acted promptly in suspending the teacher pending investigations, and he was subsequently sacked in November 2012. He added that Aylesbury Grammar School takes its safeguarding obligations very seriously and is committed to keeping children safe in education, and the school cooperated fully with external investigations.
Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young.
Tell me, where are you going? It's so cold. We are stardust. We are golden. We are and we got to get ourselves back to the We are stardust. We are golden. We are and we got to get ourselves back to the By the time we got to Woodstock, we were heavily strong, and everywhere was a song and a celebration. And I dreamed I saw the bomb and death flames riding shotgun in the sky, turning into butterflies above our nation. We are stars. We are caught in the devil's bargain, and we got to get ourselves back to the
Yes, Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young. Why the hell not? It's Thursday. So I went to that there North London, the ponziest of all Londons, last night, and just around the corner from where I used to live. And I was going to see a show. And I went to have what can only be described as something to eat before. And I was there waiting for my friend. Two things happened, OK? The second thing, I mean, it's just warped my mind. Well, I'll talk about it in a bit. The first thing, though, I sat down at this really uncomfortable table on this... it wasn't even a stool. It was a block of wood. Just like a cube of wood. And I said, oh, can I get... I'll have some tap water, please. And it's over there. Oh, OK. And I went, and it was like this big glass tank of water with a tap. And you had glasses. Did you see my picture of this yesterday?
Yeah, I did.
You had glasses which you would fill with water. They weren't glasses. They was jam jars. It was a jam jar.
With
Did
the
you see it, Kelly?
With a screwy kind of thread round the
It was a flipping jam jar. I'm going to tweet it again. It was a jam jar. And I was thinking, oh, no, I'm in one of them places.
Yeah, you were.
So what was it?
It was a jam jar.
Oh.
It was a glass... But the thing is, honestly, it was a jam jar. I'm going to tweet the picture. But it's got a lip on it, so you can't dribble in. I mean, partly because I was drinking like that as well. I was doing my best Bruce Forsyth. But it was I was drinking water from a jam jar, and it
Jam
tasted
jug.
of gooseberries. Huh?
A jam jug.
Speaking of gooseberries, I'll get to that in a minute. A jam jug.
Yeah.
What?
If it's got the peak thing.
No, it didn't have a peak.
There's no peak.
It was, you know,
it was a jam jar.
You know the bit where you screw the lid on?
Oh, yeah.
What he's saying is it had that kind of twisty
When did
bit
you
on
ever
it.
put jam in a jug?
I don't know.
No.
Jam on jugs? Oh, actually, now you mentioned that.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
The M25 is blocked anti-clockwise because a car's on fire between junction 22 for St Albans and 21A for the M1 South. On the A1M northbound, all the lanes have reopened again after a vehicle overturned between junction 9 for Letchworth and 10 for Stotfold, so that is moving again after delays earlier on. And on the M1 southbound, it's easing off between junction 14 for Milton Keynes and 13 for Bedford after delays there earlier after the overnight roadworks finished late. Looking at the speed sensors in High Wycombe on Easton Street, there's resurfacing work going on around the A404 for Crendon Street, so that could cause some delays later on. Samantha Breath, BBC Three Counties Radio.
A jam jar, Sammy.
I know, did it taste of jam?
It did a
Your
little.
water.
In my head, it tasted of jam. You can't drink water in a jam jar.
But it's not as bad as, you know, when somewhere you go to a place and it's a jam jar with a handle. Someone made those specifically to look like jam jars, but they're actually cups.
People like that make me want to puke, Sammy. They make me want to commit violence Would you like to join me in committing violence later on? Okay, I'll
no.
see you there. Thank you. Sammy Bruff and myself will be committing violence later on. A jam jar! I couldn't believe it. 6:16. It's Thursday, the 21st of May. I'm Iain Lee, and I'm short of breath. These are your headlines on BBC Three Counties Radio. A man from Hertfordshire is among 8 men who've been charged over the raid on a Hatton Garden safe deposit firm in London. The NSPCC says children are lying about their age online all too frequently after an Aylesbury teacher was banned from teaching after dating a 15-year-old girl. And former England striker Teddy Sheringham will be confirmed as the new Stevenage manager at a lunchtime press time conference time. 08459 455 555. A jam jar.
BBC Three Counties Radio. If you've missed any of the programmes here on BBC Three Counties Radio, you've missed things like this.
Did the drugs in his mouth kill him?
No, they didn't.
Okay. Did they play a part in his death?
He had 4 glasses of champagne, 2 bottles of wine, 4 cocktails. What's 2 French?
I have a feeling it was a cocktail as well.
But there is a way you can hear it all again.
And Renata Blower, you have just allowed the first ever nurse to be funded for Great Ormond Street who will deal specifically with children who have undiagnosed conditions.
bbc.co.uk/Three Counties Radio.
Well, the Police and Crime Commissioner for Bedfordshire, Ollie Martins, joins me in the studio. Were you wrong to go ahead with this referendum?
But what was the alternative? As I've said, that was not a situation that I was prepared to just sit there and do nothing about.
Allowing you to listen to what you missed. bbc.co.uk/Three Counties Radio.
A jam jar, Justin.
A jam jar.
Honestly, this has got me furious. The water, and I'm there supping water from my jam jar.
Yes.
Thinking of this is why I moved out of North London, because it's full of nonsense like this. So anyway, right, so we're in this it's a tiny little restaurant. It's in Highgate. We're off to see a show, okay? And I'm meeting a friend, and he's a bit late. So I go into the restaurant, and it's quite small. It's one of those ones where it's like, you know, Wagamama's, you have to share tables with people.
Yeah, which can get a bit awkward, though.
It's not... It's not my favourite, but the food in Wagamama's is so good. Do you know what? I'll tolerate it. Yeah, this was the only place nearby, and I thought I really want a quick burger. I'll have it. So there were 3 tables, 2 big ones that were full, and a small one by the window. And I said, look, I've got a friend coming, a table for 2. He said, OK, you can have this table by the window. I thought, result, we're not sharing. This is sweet, Dealey.
Yeah.
So I order my burger, my friend comes, he orders his burger. We're chatting, and our food arrives, and then this young couple, come in. And they say, table for 2, and the guy looks around and says, it's going to be a few minutes. Oh, hang on a second. And he leans over to us. He said, would you two mind moving round? Right, so we're kind of face on, OK? Mm-hmm. And I'm like, yeah, you know what? Sure, fine. We're only going to be here for a bit. Fine. So I move around to the end of the table, and my friend moves up one, OK? But now instantly, I've got the worst seat, because now I'm next to a pillar. So I can't get my legs under the table. I can get one leg under the table, and the other leg is out in the kind of the pathway of other people.
You've been mugged off straight away.
Well, first, yeah, exactly. That couple should have got those seats, because we were there first.
Yes.
They should have got the rubbish seats, and, all right, fine, OK, whatever. Then I'm eating my burger, and I look up, and the young man's chomping on a burger. And I don't mean his food had arrived. He was getting it on with the girl. He had it by burger, I mean mouth. His tongue was down her throat. They weren't just, like, kissing, or, you know, like pecking, and all. It's like... They were having a full-on... If they'd been in a swimming pool, they would have been kicked out for heavy petting at my table.
That is disgusting.
So I had to drink from my jam jar to calm my nerves. I couldn't believe it. It was like watching a live sex show. I've got DVDs from Sweden that show less than what was going on there.
Great Swedish movies out there.
Oh, some wonderful. By the way, you Swedish film directors.
Yeah, well done.
Come on, guys. It was incredible. You know I'm not a fan of public displays of affection, Just.
Yeah, PDAs, yeah.
The old PDAs, I don't dig the But this was... They were obviously planning a family or something.
This is all lovely, boss, but why didn't you go and speak to the manager and say, look, you've moved me to a seat, I can only get one leg in, they're kissing each other, I think that's wrong. How much are you going to take off my bill, please?
Wow, Justin, if only I had the cojones that you've got.
Yeah, but you've got that.
No, I haven't got those cojones.
Yes, you have.
Also, this is a place that's serving water in a flipping jam jar, mate. They've
So
obviously
cool.
they've obviously got no concern for decorum and normal behaviour.
It sounds very much like a restaurant circa 1963.
Oh, mate, it was a restaurant circa up my bum. I don't even know what that means. Can you introduce Joan Jett for me, please?
Yeah, here is a fantastic record. Joan Jett, who just absolutely loves it. Good morning, Beds, Hearts and Bucks. Here we go.
I don't think you can say that.
I saw him dancing there by the record machine. I knew he must have been about 17. He was running strong, playing my favorite song. And I could tell it wouldn't be long that he was with me, yeah, me. And I could tell it wouldn't be long that he was with me, yeah, me. Singing, I love rock and roll. So put another time in the jukebox, baby. I love rock and roll. So come and take your time and dance with me. Smiled so I got up and asked for his name. That don't matter, he said, 'cause it's all the same. I said, can I take you home where we can be alone? The next we were moving on, he was with me, yeah, me. Next we were moving on, he was with me, yeah, me. Singing, I love rock and roll. So put another time in the jukebox, baby. I love rock and roll. So come and take your time and dance with me. Take you home where we can be alone. Next we're moving on. He was with me, yeah, me. And we'll be moving on and singing that same old song, yeah, with me. Singing, I love rock and roll. So put another time in the jukebox, baby. I love rock and roll. So come and take your time and dance with me. I love rock and roll. So put another time in the jukebox, baby.
Yes, I'd agree.
That's old news.
Tasty.
Okay, it's that time of the morning when I say this.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Justin.
Good morning. Oh, I love those clips.
Oh.
Anthony, old news.
Oh.
What a legend.
I mean, what an absolute...
That's old news.
Isn't it just?
It's brilliant.
I want you to take UB40 to the streets.
UB40?
Yeah.
And what's happening with the Kings of Reggae? Well, they are the Kings. Nobody has sold more reggae records in the world than UB40.
Scores of UB40 fans were turned away from a gig after, get this, guys, too many tickets were sold. Organisers, by the way, that audio was in the wrong place and I've moved it and it's not there, so if you could put that in for this next bit. Sorry, thank you. Organisers offered refunds on the door to punters who'd paid 30 quid to see blooming UB40. Can you believe...
What's your beef with UB40?
Oh,
Come on.
I don't like reggae.
Right.
Oh, no. I love it. No, I don't. I don't like reggae.
Right.
Oh, no. I love it. No, I don't like reggae. Oh, no. I love it. I hate it. It's awful.
So that's your beef. You don't like reggae.
I don't like
that's
reggae.
it.
No. I don't like reggae. But even worse than reggae is bland, white reggae.
Hang on a minute. Do you not have respect for a load of blokes from Birmingham, of all places, who have got to the very top of their game by selling more reggae records than anybody else? Surely you must respect them.
You know that they don't even respect themselves. You know there are two UB40s doing the circuit at the moment.
Yeah.
There are two UB40s.
Well, that's two sets of gold then. Come on!
Can you take UB40 to the streets, Just?
What about how fantastic they are?
Yeah,
Yeah, of course, no problem.
All right, fine.
Yeah,
I
there's a
bet
rat
you
in my kitchen.
what are you going to do?
Oh, tough.
08459 455 555. On to slightly more serious things. Last week, we had a call from Lydia Tyrrell from Hertford. She contacted us because her dad had gone missing. This is what she had to say.
It's completely out of character for him, and the police are treating the investigation as a high risk. He wasn't really in a good place because my mum and dad separated a few months back.
Well, we put a picture of her dad, Brian Byrne, on Facebook, and it's been in the press a bit, and it's been on Twitter, and it's 2 weeks since Brian disappeared. He's still not been found. Justin, we're going to speak to Lydia a little bit later on.
Yeah.
Just remind us what we know about the day that Brian went missing.
Well, the 58-year-old was last seen at his home address in Hertford. This was on the evening of Thursday, May the 7th. Now, his Vauxhall Combo van was located in Essex. That was last Wednesday. Police believe that he may have left the county using public transport. He's described as white, around 6'5" tall, of stocky build, with balding grey hair, and the day that he went missing, he was wearing blue jeans, a T-shirt and tanned ankle boots as well.
Now, obviously, Lydia was very upset when we spoke to her. Has there been any progress made?
Well, this week, in actual fact, the police said they've released CCTV footage showing the old Nasing Road Bridge into Nasing, Essex, around the time that Brian was possibly seen leaving his van in nearby Crownfield. The CCTV is quite interesting. It's around 9:30 on May the 8th, a man walks across the bridge. Well, less than a minute later, two more people walk across the bridge in the same direction, and then two cars drive across the bridge. Now, police, they're keen to identify and speak to those people in the footage, including the drivers of the vehicles, as they may have vital information which could hopefully assist in the search for Brian. Also at the weekend, water-based searches took place across stretches of the River Lee. That was near Broxbourne. Boat teams, they used sonar to scour the water for any clues which could help locate the missing Brian. Quad bikes were used as well in the hard-to-reach areas, and that was in the countryside. So lots going on to try and track Brian down.
But he's not turned up yet, has he?
Unfortunately, no. And later, Ian, you'll be talking to Brian's daughter, as you mentioned, Lydia, who's desperate for information. She's been speaking to us beforehand, saying just the slightest bit of information could prove absolutely pivotal in helping people find Brian. Hopefully he's out there, and any information which comes forward today and off the back of the police CCTV, that could be so crucial.
Justin, we will speak to you before 7, mate.
Yeah, but about UB40 being the kings of reggae, no problem.
You're such a plum. I mean, they're just... Oh, honestly, the people look back on the 80s and the 90s with fondness. They were rubbish. The 60s were... Do you know what? The olden days were rubbish. This is the best it's ever been. This is the best... Oh, the 60s were so good, man, because of the Beatles. But, yeah, you look at the charts from the 60s, most of it was cack. Most of it was cack. And you had to go and do a poo outside. You did. You had outside toilets.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
There are delays on the M25 because two lanes have been closed anti-clockwise between junction 22 for St Albans and 21A for the M1 South. That's because of a car fire earlier. And clockwise there are queues between junction 24 for Potters Bar and 25 for Enfield because of a breakdown. In Bricketwood on the North Orbital Road, that's busy around the M25 junction 21A roundabout. And in Milton Keynes, looking at the speed sensors, it's still quiet on Standing Way. But at the Kingston roundabout there are still the roadworks going on, so expect delays later on. No problems to report on the train departure boards. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
It was a jam jar, Sammy.
I know.
A jam jar.
Water.
And now people are sending me pictures of their jam jars. Someone sent me this picture going, oh, I quite like my jam jar. And it's, where is it? It's a jam jar. It's like, oh, people are such idiots. It's a jam jar with a handle and a straw, like a metal straw.
What's the meaning of it?
What is, do you know what? Are you still up for some violence later on?
No, I'm not up for any violence.
Come and meet me here after the show at 9 and we'll go and do some violence, OK? Nice one, Sammy. Thank you, mate.
Across beds, hearts and bugs.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
1
6:30, I'm Simon Oxley. A man from Hertfordshire is among 8 men who have been charged over the raid on a Hatton Gardens safe deposit firm in London. 58-year-old Carl Wood from Elderbeck Close in Cheshunt has been charged with conspiracy to burgle, along with 7 others from London and Kent. The men are due to appear before Westminster Magistrates Court later. The children's charity, the NSPCC, says children are lying about their age online all too frequently. It comes after an Aylesbury teacher was banned from teaching after dating a 15-year-old girl. And David Cameron is promising radical changes to control immigration and put an end to illegal working. In a speech this morning, he'll say the police will be given the powers to seize the wages of those working illegally.
3 Counties Sports.
BBC 3 Counties Radio.
Former England striker Teddy Sheringham will be confirmed as the new Stevenage manager today. There's a lunchtime press conference at the Lamex Stadium. The former Spurs and Manchester United star will take over from Graham Westley after the borough confirmed that Westley's contract would not be renewed. More from Jeff Doyle.
Chairman Phil Wallace says the club need to refresh and evolve, but admits it's risky. 13 players will follow Wesley out the door. Long-serving John Ashton is the most high-profile, although he didn't feature regularly last season. But Bira Dembele and Simon Walton, Chris Beardsley and Andy Bond did, and they've been released, as have Harry Worley and Calvin Zola, who were hampered by injury.
Watford goalkeeper Aurelio Gomez has signed a new 3-year contract, and Sunderland are safe from relegation from the Premier League after a goalless draw at Arsenal last night. The final relegation place now rests between Hull and Newcastle. England's cricketers start the first test against New Zealand at Lords this morning. Meanwhile, Yorkshire coach Jason Gillespie will hold talks with England's Director of Cricket Andrew Strauss regarding the vacant head coach's position. Caretaker coach Paul Farbrace will be in charge today. Captain Alistair Cook says the players just have to remain focused on the cricket.
Another challenge to have an interim coach. I think it's now my 4th coach as a captain over the last 2 years. There's always challenges to deal with, and so there's another one. It's great to have Favi here. As players, we've got to focus on what is important for us, not worry too much about the external stuff. Where the lads train, they're just desperate to get on that park and play some cricket.
And practice starts this morning for Sunday's Monaco Grand Prix. Championship leader Hertfordshire's Lewis Hamilton yesterday signed a new 3-year contract with Mercedes worth a reported £100 million. BBC 3 Counties News and Sports. The next full bulletin is at 7.
Suck it to me. Floating in the river with a saturated liver, and I wish I could forgive her, but I do believe she meant it when she told me to forget it, and I bet you will forget it when they find me in the morning wet and drowned, and the word gets round. I'm going down, I'm going down. I'm coming up for air, it's pretty stuff under there. I'd like to say I didn't care, but I forgot to leave a note, and it's so hot to stay afloat. I'm soaking wet without a boat, and I knew I should have taken off my shoes. It's front page news. Going down, going down. Hey, hey. Help, 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 help. I wish I had another drink, I wouldn't be so hot to sink. I should have taken time to think. Besides, I got the picture straight. You must have had another day that didn't need this extra way to wish that I could see the way to show. I don't want no more. Going down, I'm going down. And now I see the life, I let it slip it all away. I made a should have learned to swim instead of naturally got me stuff. I can't believe it, why I jump a life again. My tummy pump, I can't believe they drink this stuff in town. This dirty brown. Going down, going down, I'm going down, going down, hey, hey, going down, going down, going down, going down, going down, going down. I wish I'd looked before I leave, but didn't know it was so deep and down so far. Don't get where I haven't touched the bottom yet. This river scene is getting old. I'm hungry, sleepy, wet and cold. She told me to forget it nice. I should have taken her advice. I only want to go on home. I'd gladly leave that girl at home. What a way to spend the night. If I don't drown, I'll die of fright. My pappy taught me how to float, but I can't swim a single note. He threw me in to teach me how. I stayed there floating like a mama cow, and now I floated way downstream. No, this has to be a dream. If I could find my way to shore, I'd never do this anymore. Now give you 3 up and down, I'm going down just one more time. it's getting light. Everything will be alright. Think I finally got the knack of just floating lazy on my back. I never really liked that town. I think I'll ride the river down, just moving slow and floating free. There's a river swinging under me, waving back to the slopes on shore. I should have thought of this before. I float on down to New Orleans and pick up on some swinging scenes. I'm gonna know a better day. I'll go down grooving all the way, going down. I'm going down. I'm going down, back down to New Orleans, back home. I'm going down, head, home. I'm going down, head. I gotta go down. I'm going down,
Morning, guys. If anybody's listening, they're not. Whatever, I'm not bothered. I'm bothered. What you got in the papes, Boyle?
Fancy being caught up in a before and after fake picture scandal and being the before.
Yes, I don't.
Ow.
What I want to do is I want to be a fat man. I'm getting there. I'm putting on a lot of weight at the moment. I don't like it, but I want to be a fat man. And then I want to lose a lot of weight so that I can stand in one leg of my jeans
Yep.
and go, I used to fit these.
And do the Barry Bethel.
I used to fit these, and now I fit these. This is what I do, is I would become a fat man and I become a blacksmith.
Right.
I'd be a fat blacksmith, a fat smith, right? And what I would do is I would have a picture of me lost the weight in the jeans, one leg of the jeans, saying, I used to fit these, but now I fit these, and I'd hold up a horseshoe. People go, oh, that's clever. He used to be fat and now he's a blacksmith.
Oh, I get it. Yeah. Well, yeah.
I used to fit these and now I fit these.
Nice.
It's just an idea. It's just an idea.
This is a woman who was on Benefits Britain Life on the Dole.
Hey!
22-stone job seeker from Scotland found herself as being the poster girl, but not quite the way she wanted to.
Oh.
She was the before in this kind of slimming pill scam. Actually, the after girl didn't take the slimming pills either. So, mind you, if you believe they're the same person, they're quite... I would say they're facially quite different as well as girth-wise.
Hot. That's not fair. That's not fair. Who played Hey Fatty Bum Bum?
Yeah.
That is not fair.
He keeps messaging me. He wants to come on.
We've been after Carl. What's his name? Carl Douglas.
Malcolm.
No, that was Kung Fu Fighting. Carl Malcolm for ages. And you've been in touch with him.
Yeah.
Well, give us a Carl Malcolm Hey Fatty Bum Bum update.
I said, hi, Carl Malcolm, can you come on the show? And he said, yeah, great, let me know when.
Well...
And then I did let him know, and then he was like, so, you gonna let me know?
But we barely play it anymore.
And then he said, so...
Get Carl Malcolm on and get the Australian Justin Dealey on.
When do you want Carl Malcolm on?
When he can do.
Tomorrow?
Yeah, all right, done.
Really?
Yeah, he's in America, though, so...
We'll have to stay up.
Yeah.
See, it sounds like he's keen, though.
Shall I see if he's there now? What's the time there now?
Late.
What time? Where?
In America.
Oh, OK, it's like 3 o'clock. Boom, boom. It's a sugar dumpling. Hey, can you get me a clip of a drum roll, Kelly?
Yeah.
As well as getting Carl Malcolm.
Yep.
Can you get me a clip of a drum roll?
Are you up now?
No,
He won't be. It's like 3 in the morning. Well, he might.
Well, he might be reggae style. He could be smoking a fat one. He could be reminiscing about the olden days, smoking a fat one. I often do.
He could be dropping some dirty bass.
When I've got a few weeks coming off, and I shall be up all night rolling a fat one. And I used to fit these, but now I fit these horseshoes. And it's a good idea for blacksmith marketing. Probably can't call them blacksmiths anymore. Probably smiths of colour or something. I don't know. Unbelievable. So, yes, anything else?
Yes.
Yeah.
3/4 of dads sing along to hit songs with their kids while in the car, research shows. What, 3/4?
Say that again?
3/4 of dads sing along to hit songs with their kids while in the car,
Well,
research
the
shows.
other 25% of dads are sad sacks if they're not singing along. That's what you do.
Pharrell's chart topper Happy is the most popular. Yeah, my kids like that.
That's not.
With 31% knowing all the words. Wow, I don't know the words. Other favourites include Lady Gaga's Poker Face, my Poker Face.
I've never heard that song.
And Let It Go from the Disney film Frozen.
Let it go, let it go.
I get yelled at when we do Frozen because I always have to be the boy.
This is all... Well, if you're not singing the hits in the car... By the way, the hits in my car include Last Train to Fartsville and songs like that. Then you're not doing it... you're not doing the parenting thing properly, and you should have your parent licence revoked.
I was delighted when my little one came home from school, having told her mate she was into the small faces.
Yeah.
That's me winning.
That's you winning, and my boys are going to get some of this today.
And she was lying in the grass, and she could hear the highway breathing, and she could see a nearby factory. She's making sure she is not dreaming. See the lights of her neighbor's house. Now she's starting to rise. Take a minute to concentrate, and she opens up her eyes. The world was moving, she was right there with it, and she was. The world was moving, she was floating above it, and she was. And she was. And she was drifting through the backyard, and she was taking off her dress, and she was moving very slowly, rising up above the earth, moving into the universe, and she's drifting this way and out, not touching the ground at all, and she's up above the yard. The world was moving, she was right there with it, and she was. Hey, hey. The world was moving, she was floating above it, and she was. Hey, 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 she was. Right about it, no doubt about it. She isn't sure about what she's done. No time to think about what to tell him. No time to think about what she's done, and she was. Hey, 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 hey. And she was looking at herself, and things were looking like a movie. She had a pleasant elevation. She's moving out in all directions. Oh, oh, oh. Hey, 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 the world was moving, she was right there with it, and she was. Hey. The world was moving, she was floating above it, and she was. Hey, hey. Joining the world of mystic persons, and she was. Missing enough to feel alright, and she was.
The water came in a jam jar. I mean, throwing out loud.
And she was.
I think it's a punishment for not buying a drink.
She was. And she was. And she was.
There we go. Yep. Yep. One more time. It's a song about LSD.
Travel news for beds, cards, and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
On the M25, two lanes are closed anti-clockwise just before junction 21A for the M1 South, but queues are reaching junction 22 for St Albans, and it's after a car fire earlier. Also clockwise on the M25, there was a breakdown between junction 24 for Potters Bar and 25 for Enfield, but that has now been cleared, so things are starting to move fine again through there. It's busy in Bricketwood though on the North Orbital Road at the M25 junction 21A roundabout, and the A1 southbound starting to build up from the Holiday Inn towards Stirling Corner at Barnet Lane. On the trains, there's no reports of any delays at the moment, but Network Rail will be striking from 5 o'clock on Monday until 5 o'clock on Tuesday over the bank holiday, so that will be severely reducing all the train services across the UK. We have to let you know between Monday through to Wednesday. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Samantha.
Yes.
We've had one or two complaints.
About jam jars?
No, about your carefree attitude towards violence.
Oh.
It's just a bit weird, mate, to come on mean, you come on and do the travel, but then come on and say you're going to go on out and do violence after the show.
I didn't say that.
I just think, Sammy, that, you know, we're the BBC, mate. And yeah, I know the figures aren't great and no one's actually listening, but still, we've got to... Could you just reconsider your idea about violence? Is that possible, Sammy?
I don't...
Thank you, mate, please. I mean... Deary me. Apologies to anyone who's upset by Sammy Brough saying she's going to go out and cause mindless violence after the show. That's disgusting behaviour. 6:47, it's Thursday, the 21st of May. I'm Iain Lee. These are your headlines on BBC Three Counties Radio. A man from Hertfordshire is among 8 men who've been charged over the raid on a Hatton Garden safe deposit firm in London. The NSPCC says children are lying about their age online all too frequently. I lie about my age online even now. And former England striker Teddy Sheringham will be confirmed as the new Stevenage manager at a lunchtime press conference. Here's someone who never has to lie about her age. She's 21. It's Elizabeth.
Beds, Hearts and Bucks weather.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Hello, very good morning to you. It's going to be a lovely day today. There'll be lots of sunshine around and it'll feel warmer than it has done over recent days too. It's also looking dry, so good news, no showers today, no hailstorms either. Through the morning, we probably see quite a lot of cloud, but that cloud will tend to thin and break. We'll see some more sunshine as we head towards the afternoon, and the end of the day is looking particularly fine and lovely too. Just a light westerly breeze and top temperatures all the way up to 18 or 19 Celsius, 66 in Fahrenheit. Overnight tonight, we've got some milder air pushing through, so it won't feel quite as chilly. Dry with lots of clear spells around, lows of around 8 or 9 degrees. And then tomorrow, a cloudier day, but still lovely and warm. In fact, we'll probably see 20 degrees easily tomorrow right across the three counties. Just a light westerly breeze once more. Bit of brightness at times, and watch out for a few showers forming perhaps into the afternoon. But some brightness, just a bit more in the way of cloud. Over the bank holiday weekend, we'll see the sunshine again, particularly on Saturday, Sunday morning too. Sunday afternoon could turn a bit cloudier. We could see a few outbreaks of rain perhaps into the evening. There will be a few showers around on Monday, but also lots of lovely spells of sunshine and feeling a bit cooler by the end of the bank holiday weekend. But all in all, lots of dry weather and lots of fine weather too. That's the forecast.
Lifeboats on water, and now the tide's come in. Once so close together, we now need rescuing. Oh, throw me a lifeline, 'cause I'm up to my neck and out. Is there anything I can do? Please help me out. Are you still in love? We crossed the ocean. I thought we made it to land, but beyond that horizon, I let go of your hand. The blue skies and sunshine are now clouds of grey. Yeah, was it the right time for us to sail away? Oh, put down the anchor, 'cause I want it all to slow down. Is there anything I can do? Please help me out. Are you still in love? Still in love. Still in love. Lifeboats on water, and now the tide's come in. Once so close together, well now we need rescuing. 'cause you're pushing me overboard. Is there anything I can do? Please help me out. Are you still in love?
That's this week's BBC introducing track, and it's by Sarah Monroe, and the song is called Lifeboats. And if I'm honest, I enjoyed that a lot. Sweet tone, lovely guitar playing, a little bit of slap on the guitar. Beautiful. Tell us a bit more about her, Curls. If I wanted to go and stalk her, what part of Beds, Herts and Bugs would I have to go to?
Hertfordshire.
Okay, can you be any more
She's
specific than that? Because I don't want to waste my time in the whole county.
If you head towards Hemel,
Yay.
find her. She's on Facebook as well, if it's easier. Sarah Monroe.
I enjoyed that.
Good.
It was so good, I'm going to play it again.
What a day for a daydream.
Hey, hang on a second. That's not the same song, but it's... But...
I'm lost in a daydream.
Do you see what I'm saying, Kelly?
Yeah, do you want that in full?
No. But do you get it, though?
Yeah.
Do you get the point?
You think it sounds similar?
That's correct.
I think it sounds the same.
I think it sounds the same. But that's... Hey, listen, if you're gonna knock someone off, knock the loving spoonful off. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. I've got another 2 hours of this. Just suddenly realised, I saw the road stretching out ahead of us, and I thought...
Hey, that's good. We've got loads of fun. We'll have loads of fun.
What?
We'll have loads of fun.
Literally just us three?
Yeah.
I wasn't paying any attention. What you got?
Are. All right, well, do you want a dead cow or do you want Scrabble?
Scrabble.
All right. Scrabble has let in 6,500 new words, including text speak, like lols with a Z.
No, mate. Well, hang on a minute. I play Words with Friends, which is kind of Scrabble.
You cheat at Words with Friends.
I don't cheat anymore. And they won't let me have some really good words.
Like? Oh, swear words. Well, that is a biological word.
That's a part of the body. I mean, I suppose it's an abbreviation.
Yeah.
So maybe that's...
You want me to go for the whole lot? You need some more tiles.
I bet that... And there's other words that they won't let me have, and it does annoy me.
It restricts things.
Yeah.
Bezzy, best friend, 18 points.
No, mate.
Thanks with an X, 15 points.
No, that's not...
Yeah. They're also letting in things like twerking, 16 points.
Yeah, that's...
Vaping.
Yeah, they're words.
9 points. And sexting, 15 points.
Those are words. Bezzy's not. Hey, here's something exciting.
All right, go on.
Well, just have a listen to this, okay? This is... What's that?
Drum roll.
It's a drum roll, isn't it? It's a drum roll. Let's have a little listen to that. When I knew that my day... Get this, Justin. When I knew that my days at LBC were ending, and I wasn't going to be there for much longer, I had a drum roll clip. They had a system there that you could play, where you could kind of jump back into the middle of the clip while it was playing, so it would sound like a continuous noise, okay? So it wasn't broken. And I played... someone answered the question. I said, well, we're going to find out if you've got the answer right. I played that drum roll for 3.5 minutes.
Oh,
literally
goodness.
3.5 minutes of drum roll.
Love your style.
I knew I was going. But have a guess, right? The world record for a drum roll has been broken.
Wow.
Have a guess what the new world record for drum rolling is.
Oh, is this one person on its own, yeah?
With a drum.
With a drum,
And
okay.
2 sticks.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go for 2 days.
Well, that's just insane.
No, it's not. You could do that.
You've done the classic thing there of over-guessing. Always under...
2 days.
When someone asks you to guess something, you always under-guess.
Okay, what a day then?
Well, it's not going to sound very impressive now. It's 12 hours, 5 minutes and 5 seconds.
Do you know what?
Of this.
I'm going to put this out there. I'm going to break that world record.
Well, you can't even do
within a year.
You can't even do a drum roll, mate. You
Let me
literally
learn.
can't do a
And
drum...
that sounds easy to me. 12 hours? No
He had to go to hospital, didn't he?
Yeah, Jason Brinklet, 44, was in trouble after 8 hours, but managed to clock 12 hours, 5 minutes, 5 seconds. He said,
it was harder than I thought it would be. 8 hours in, my wrist went. I was in tremendous pain, but I kept pushing. At the end, I was a right mess.
That's... you know what? That sounds really weird, what he's just said there.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Justin, in a year's time, when I tune into BBC Three Counties Radio and I listen to The Breakfast Show, I want to hear you come on and tell David Prever that you... are going to break the world record.
No problem. You will be hearing that.
Beautiful. I look forward to listening to it. Now, UB40.
Yeah, the kings of reggae.
There are two UB40s travelling the country. One has got Ali Campbell in, the other one's got Ali Campbell's brother in. Ali Campbell, it is an interesting story, right? Ali Campbell was a bit annoyed with the way the band was going, the singer, of course, and his brother said, you should leave. You should leave. You are the voice of UB40. Strike out on your own. Make your own career. And Ali Campbell went, really? Yeah, go on, strike out on your own. Ali Campbell left, released a solo record that flopped. Meanwhile, his brother went in and became the lead singer of UB40.
Amazing. Nice. Yeah.
That's outrageous.
Quality.
You've taken this to the streets, Just. The world's most rubbish band.
It's taken us 30 years to take this one to the streets. UB40, your views on the kings of reggae.
Please stop saying that, mate.
Well, it's the truth.
No, it's not.
No, that is fact, not fiction.
No, Justin,
yes,
that is your own...
As you know, I deal in fact and not fiction.
A, that's fiction, and B, that's your own... You're supposed to be not impervious, impartial.
Well, if they've sold more reggae records than anybody else in the world, that says to me they're the kings of reggae.
Kokomo was the Beach Boys' biggest hit, and it was one of their worst songs.
Maybe they've just found a really watered-down version of reggae that appeals to the masses.
Yeah.
Quite possibly. I've taken this one to the streets.
Have they sold as many records as Sid Owen?
Sid Owen and that brilliant video walking down the beach in that tight top. Here's what the streets had to say about UB40. Morning, Christian. Let's get the Hungarian perspective on this one. Who are the reggae kings in Hungary?
UB40.
So when you think about quality bands, I mean, there's been some fantastic music over the years. When you think about top-notch bands, who springs to mind for you?
UB40.
Joe, we're on the streets this morning getting people's feedback about the amazing band that is UB40. Weren't they sensational? Aren't they still sensational?
Old has-beens.
What?
Old has-beens.
You give me one good reason why they're old has-beens.
They massacred a Neil Diamond song, Red Red Wine.
That was a #1 back in 1983. What's your beef?
I don't care. They massacred it, killed it, ruined it.
I think you better go one way and me go the other.
That sounds a good move.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Spot on, mate. Spot on. There's a record shop. I work in Birmingham from time to time. There's a record shop in Birmingham called Swordfish Records. Okay, it's a really good little record shop. And on National World Record Day, they came on the show, and I was saying, have you ever had anyone famous in the shop? And they said, well, we had this old guy come in once, and he had a hat on. And he bought some CDs. He was buying like a Bob Dylan CD and a couple of other CDs and bits and pieces. And we thought nothing of it. Then someone was next to him was buying a UB40 CD, and he went, "Oh, I wrote one of the songs on that album." They said, "Which song did you write?" He went, "Oh, Red Red Wine." It was Neil Diamond. It was Neil Diamond.
True fact.
It's a true fact. But Justin, you're completely wrong about UB40.
Okay.
We've lost the line. Bye.
Bye.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
2 lanes are closed on the M25 anti-clockwise at junction 21A for the M1 South, which is causing delays from junction 22 for St Albans after a car fire. On the M1 southbound, it's stop-start from junction 11 for Dunstable to 9 for Redbourne, and it's also busy on the A5 southbound from Lynch Hill towards the M1 junction 9 at Redbourne. In Cheston on the A10, that's busy southbound between the New River Trading Estate and the M25. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you, Sammy. Onwards and upwards. Here we go. Having it large.
Local and vocal across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's 7 o'clock. I'm Simon Oxley. The headlines: Hertfordshire man charged with Hatton Garden raid, online warning after Aylesbury teacher banned, and Stevenage to confirm Teddy Sheringham as their new manager.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
A man from Hertfordshire is among 8 men who have been charged over the raid on a Hatton Garden safe deposit firm in London. 58-year-old Carl Wood from Elderbeck Close in Cheshunt has been charged with conspiracy to burgle, along with 7 others from London and Kent. The men are due to appear before Westminster Magistrates Court later. A 9th man has been released on bail pending further inquiries. More from Ben Ando.
The gang who carried out the raid climbed down a lift shaft, broke through security doors and drilled through half a metre of reinforced concrete to get into the vault in the basement of the Hatton Garden Safety Deposit firm. On Tuesday, police carried out a dozen raids on addresses in London and Kent, and 9 men were arrested. Now 8 have been charged with conspiracy to burgle.
The children's charity, the NSPCC, says children are lying about their age online all too frequently. It comes after an Aylesbury teacher was banned from teaching after dating a 15-year-old girl. 40-year-old Jeffrey Tansey initially believed the girl he met on a dating website was over 18. More from Sophie Solaria.
Jeffrey Tansey from Aylesbury Grammar School arranged to meet the girl who was not from the same school for what was described as a date. During this meeting in 2012, he held her hand and kissed her twice on the lips before agreeing to meet her again. The Professional Conduct Panel of the National College for Teaching and Leadership found he showed a lack of judgment amounting to misconduct of a serious nature.
David Cameron is promising radical changes to control immigration and put an end to illegal working. In a speech this morning, he'll say the police will be given the powers to seize the wages of those working illegally. Police are continuing their search for a Hertfordshire man who went missing 2 weeks ago today. 58-year-old Brian Byrne from Hertford was last seen at his home address on the evening of the 7th of May. Searches took place on stretches of the River Lee near Broxbourne on Saturday. Train companies have started cancelling services over the bank holiday weekend because of a planned strike by thousands of Network Rail workers in a dispute about pay. Virgin Trains has scrapped all services on the West Coast Main Line on Monday and Tuesday. There will be no London Midland services between Milton Keynes and London. Thameslink are urging people not to travel and say there will be major disruption on Wednesday as well. In sport, former England striker Teddy Sheringham will be confirmed as the new Stevenage manager today. There's a lunchtime press conference at the Lamex Stadium. The former Spurs and Manchester United star will take over from Graham Westley, with chairman Phil Wallace hinting at possible changes in the boardroom as well. Our Stevenage commentator Steve Watkins says Sheringham's arrival should boost attendances.
One of the big briefs at the moment to the chief executive is to increase the crowd base. He's not finding that particularly easy with the brand of football that's been played. It's winning football, but it's not been the most attractive at times.
The weather, a dry day with warm sunshine this afternoon, a maximum temperature 19 degrees Celsius, and you can get the latest news and sport online at bbc.co.uk/3 counties.
Morning, guys. Well, so far we have destroyed not the listenership to this station, although no, we have destroyed UB40. Awful charlatans. We've talked about going to Ponce Restaurant. I had a glass of water from a jam jar last night. A jam jar. Flippin' heck. Can you believe it, Steve? A jam jar.
Don't matter what you drink out of, does it?
Well, OK, what about a dead man's shoe?
Well, if you've got a drink, you've got a drink, haven't you?
Fair point. These commies. 08459 455 555.
Across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
You surprised me, Steve. I thought you would have been all, traditional.
What's that?
What? You right?
Yeah, I'm all right.
What?
What do you mean traditional?
Well, these jam jars coming over here, taking the jobs of our glasses and cups.
I could say something about the jam jars, but I don't know whether you probably cut me off.
Probably would, mate, because it'd probably be a bit racist.
No, it's a name on the jam jar. How can that be racist?
All right,
Jesus,
yes.
It's a trademark.
Yeah, OK.
Anyway.
Yes, Stephen, what have you got for us today? Steve?
Hello.
What is going on with you?
I don't know. On Benefit Street, why don't they move these people to areas where there is jobs instead of leaving them where they are and us paying benefits to them?
Well, hang on, we'd have to pay to move them and rehouse them.
Well, it doesn't mean so you pay for them anyway. So what's the difference?
So we'll give them more money to move. It's not necessarily the street, is it, that's making them unemployed?
No, it's just not. They say there's not. I know there's them as well as some of them are a bit mentally ill, and there are a few issues that some of them have got.
I've never seen Benefit Street, so you've got me at I've never seen Benefit Street, but I've met what's her name, Fat D. Is that White D? I've met White D. Follows me on Twitter. She tweeted me the other day. She's a very nice lady.
She probably is.
She's a delightful woman. She's working now.
Yeah, see, it's amazing. If she's saying that, then she wouldn't be working. Yeah, she's, you know. Anyway, listen, we thought you guys have moved the jobs up towards where these people are on the time to give them work, or move them closer to where there is jobs.
Yeah, do you know what? This is the thing. It's the same thing with. This is an old Ricky Gervais line, isn't it? But it's the same thing with Africans. I have to walk 20 miles to the nearest water. Well, move to the water then.
Move to the river, exactly.
Great point, Steve. Great point. Well made. Not got a clue what he was banging on about there.
That's poverty sorted. And benefits.
We've sorted poverty and benefits. OK, what else can we sort out today? The NHS. We need to sort out crime. Needs to be sorted out. Anything else we need to sort out?
NHS, what we do is we move the hospitals to near where the nurses live.
08459 455 555. How do we sort these things out? Have we got any texts?
No.
Excellent stuff indeed.
Across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is Iain Lee.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
CC says children are all too frequently lying about their age online. The comment comes after an Aylesbury man was banned from teaching after dating a 15-year-old girl. 40-year-old Jeffrey Tansey initially believed the girl he met on a dating website was over 18. Well, I'm joined now by Professor Carsten Maple, the Director of Cyber Security Research at the University of Warwick. Good morning, Carsten.
Good morning, Iain.
The first question that's been written for me is, how could this have happened? Well, it could have happened quite easily, couldn't it?
Yeah, unfortunately, many sites don't have age verification processes. So people use Facebook, and you're supposed to be over 13 years of age. Many people have children under 13 who use Facebook.
Are there any effective age verification things? Because all you normally do is you kind of spin a wheel, don't you? Or just pick a date from a calendar, and then you can put any old date in there.
That's true, you can. But we do have age verification that works, certainly for over 18s. So we have it in the physical world. If you want to buy alcohol or cigarettes, you've got to show your age. And in fact, online, for online gambling in particular, there are age verification techniques that do work.
Tell me what they are, because I've not come across them.
So the easiest to use is to use credit card. Rather than debit card, you can get a debit card when you're younger than 18.
Okay.
But a credit card can show that you're over 18. But we do have a problem, because if I register and I've got a child, well, my child could then use my details to then go online. So they're not without flaws.
And if a 15-year-old girl or boy wants to go onto a dating website and say they are an 18-year-old, there's nothing really we can do to stop them, apart from, I guess, educate them that, you know, actually that's probably a bit of a stupid thing to do, but you can't actually stop them, can you?
Yeah, well, age verification can make it more difficult, but if they are determined, whatever the process, they'll work ways to get around it. And as you say, we need to educate them, because they could be putting themselves in real danger by misrepresentation online.
How do we educate them, Carsten? Because I've said this before, with the greatest respect, you and I, to 15, 16, 17-year-olds, we're a couple of old farts, and we go in going, hey, guys, let's be groovy on the net, you know, let's be safe out there. They're just going to laugh at us, aren't they?
They are, and it's very difficult, because we use the internet much differently to the way young kids do. So it is very difficult. What we need to show is understand what they want to do and show them how they can do it more safely. Don't tell them what not to do, that won't work, but help them to do what they want in a more safe manner.
Do you know what? I'm quite optimistic about the internet. It's often portrayed as a bad thing, and you know, there's all kinds of horrible things are happening on there. They are, but if we think about it, the internet is still, I mean, what, sort of 20 years old in terms of people actually having regular access to it. It's still really early days, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, and more social interaction and communication is conducted online, and a lot of it very positive. It's just that we do concentrate sometimes on the negative, because it does have such a bad impact on the young people.
Carsten, it's good to talk to you and get your thoughts. Thank you. Professor Carsten Maple, Director of Cyber Security Research at the University of Warwick. The internet's still really young. You know, it's early days. I think it's going to be all right. I think it is all right, mainly. There's a few, there's a few dodge pots.
Do you
out
know
there.
what? It wasn't the internet's fault that this guy proceeded with a date knowing that she was 15.
No, this story has got so many things that it feels like somebody has tried to push all these things together when actually they're separate. This guy's obviously a bit of a dodge pot. He thought she was 18 and met her. That's fine.
No.
He thought she was 18.
But he knew she was 15 before he met her.
I thought that it was.
No.
He found out that she was 15 when they met.
No.
Oh, well, that's not been made clear then in the thing.
They were chatting and it emerged that she'd not told the truth about her age.
Once they got talking.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, see, I assumed that was when they met. Once they got talking.
He went there knowing she was 15, and that's why he said that he was going just to make sure she wasn't a vulnerable child.
Well, he's obviously a dodge pot, but I've lost what my thought was now. Completely lost what my thought was. Never mind. Have we got any texts?
We've got texts, but they're not really. I'll read them to you. This is what we got.
Go on.
Here we go. Can I play What's the Story Morning Glory today? That's from Snuffers.
No.
I mean, that refers to the previous hour.
No.
Are you still doing clip requests?
No.
Tony?
Well, yeah, between 6 and 7, yes.
All right, OK. He wanted Do You Drive? Yes, I do.
Okay.
That's a really long clip.
Yep.
That's it, really.
OK.
But
that's what my train of thought was. I was going with
hang on, go back.
No.
Go back to where you were.
No, I can't go back to where I was. I had a good point, and I've completely forgotten what it was now. Never mind. Hey, there's a weirdo here. Now, how are these people not dead? How are these people not dead? Look at the state of this bloke, Gary Watkinson. I mean, he looks the sort, doesn't he? A man of 25. I'm not sure I believe this. All right, because this can't be humanly possible. A man of 25 has lived his life on a diet of beans on toast. Gary Watkinson, who's obviously some sort of, deviant, said he'd eaten nothing else, and as a child threw any other food on the floor. Well, his parents should have just said, well, if you're not going to eat that, then you're going to go hungry. Tough, Gary. Tough. He said, I have beans on toast for breakfast, lunch and dinner. Oh, the smell. Imagine what it's like in his house. Oh, dear. I can't stomach the thought of other foods. His sole exception is if he is abroad and cannot find his favourite Branston bread. And then he eats chips. Oh, you dirty... Gary of Huddersfield has had a GP checkup and got a clean bill of health. But girlfriend Beth Hall, 20, said it's a nightmare. I bet it's a nightmare. I bet it absolutely stinks. Imagine sharing a bed with him. Oh, the state of that Dutch oven. It's going to be awful, isn't it? It's going to be absolutely horrendous. What awful... How can you say... Now, listen, I do like a bit of beans on toast. Don't get me wrong. Butter the toast nicely so the butter melts when the beans go on top. Bit of curry powder in the beans, grate a little bit of cheese, pucker. But all of the time, no, I don't think so. I think that's. How can you not die? I suppose that beans, the tomato sauce, you've got a vegetable. With the bean itself, what's that? I don't know. Is it fruit? Is it fruit or something? It's a fruit. It's a fruit. And the bread, well, that's fibre. So I guess you're getting everything that you need to survive and live. 08459 455 555. You can text 81333. Start your text 3CR. Let's get the Trav. Here's Sammy.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
There are long delays on the M25 anti-clockwise from junction 23 for the A1M towards junction 21A for the M1 South. That's because of a car fire that happened earlier on, so there's still 2 lanes closed. On the M1 southbound, it's stop-start now from junction 11 for Dunstable towards junction 9 for Redbourne, and also it's busy on the approach to junction 9 for Redbourne on the M1 on the A5 southbound from Lynch Hill. In Clop Hill on the A6 Bedford Road, that's looking slow on the speed sensors between Back Street and the A507, and on the Amersham Road in Beaconsfield, that's busy southbound from Longbottom Lane to the A40 at London Road. There's no reports of any problems on the trains at the moment, but over the bank holiday weekend, Network Rail are striking from 5 o'clock on Monday to 5 o'clock on Tuesday, so there'll be a severely reduced service operating on trains across the UK from Monday through to Wednesday. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Sammy, thank you very much. 7:15. It's Thursday, the 21st of May. I'm Iain Lee. These are your headlines on BBC Three Counties Radio. A man from Hertfordshire is among 8 men who've been charged over the raid on a Hatton Garden safe deposit firm in London. The NSPCC says children are lying about their age online all too frequently after an Aylesbury teacher was banned from teaching after dating a 15-year-old girl. And former England striker Teddy Sheringham will be confirmed as the new Stevenage manager at a lunchtime press conference.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
On Saturday, Wembley is going to be a sea of blue.
Still fills me with awe when I see all these football fans heading towards this playoff final.
It's the League Two playoff final as Wycombe take on Southend.
Referee's blown his whistle. Wycombe Wanderers have done it. 12 months from surviving on goal difference. They're going to Wembley.
From 2, we'll be live with the fans.
Woke up at 6 o'clock in the morning, couldn't get back to sleep, watched the highlights again of the playoff semi, and yeah, that's where I've been.
Then from 5:30, there's uninterrupted commentary on the game itself.
Mawson's there. It's a goal. Wycombe have got a second.
Wycombe versus Southend in the League Two playoff final. Saturday from 2 here on BBC Three Counties Radio.
Ian on Twitter's not buying the baked beans guy. He's calling them out. Colin's in Dunstable. Morning, Colin.
Morning, folks.
Sorry?
Morning, folks.
Oh, are you doing a turn? Oh, OK, I'll sit back. Go on, away you go,
No,
fella.
no,
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage. It's Colin. Colin, there you go.
My usual salutation.
You have literally never said that before in your life to me.
Oh,
never.
Go back and go back. You clipped
We destroy all the Colin files as soon as they exist.
Oh, do
I've not clipped you saying morning, folks. I'm looking. Hang on.
Wee Willy Wonky.
No, I've got no Colin clips, mate.
I'm not in a bad mood.
Apart from that one.
I don't want people making love while I'm talking.
So boobs is not news.
Drawing games is not winning.
Are any of these voices you, Colin?
No.
Never did to. That's not it, is it?
Before we begin.
That's not you, is
Anyway,
it?
don't worry about that.
Well, I'm not worried about it. I'm literally not worried. I couldn't worry any less.
Oh, all right. Wait till you get over
Hey,
here.
you know what we say in this country, Colin?
What's that?
I couldn't care less.
Oh, all right.
Right, well, do you know what they say in America?
No.
I could care less. But yet, they're saying it as though it means the same thing.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
They go, I could care less. Could you? Could you care? Well, then why? So you could care less? No. I hate Americans. Colin, please get to the point, mate, because we've got a busy show, mate.
Baked beans.
Yes, sir.
Fibre, a little bit of mineral and protein.
Yeah, and a lot of good times.
Yep, and the tomato sauce.
Yes.
Tomatoes in any form.
Yes.
Are excellent for you.
Well, oh, that's nice, Colin. If you love tomatoes so much, why don't you go and marry them?
No, I didn't say that.
Oh.
I was just giving you the fact.
What's your medical training, Colin?
I have worked in a hospital laboratory for many years.
What did you do? Were you a rhesus monkey?
No, but I could do everything from taking your blood right through to cross-matching it for an operation.
Oh, could you do the operation? If push came to shove, Colin, could you do the operation?
No.
Could you do a colonoscopy if you had to?
No.
Okay. If I had to, I reckon I could.
Do you?
If I really, really had to, yeah. If I was on a desert island and someone needed an emergency... I don't even know what a colonoscopy is. That's removal of the colon, is it?
Yeah.
Or is it a camera up the bum? Either way, it's just a camera up the bum, actually. I could do that. You just kind of blow to kind of open the hole and then you put your phone up there on a selfie stick.
Well, I don't know about that anyway.
Kelly's asking me why would I need to do it on a desert island. You just don't know, mate. You just don't know what goes on in these desert islands.
Well, no.
Well, Colin, we're taking a really weird twist, this phone call, mate, so I'm going to have to let you go.
All right, mate.
Ta-ta.
Bye.
Call 08459 455 555.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Now, last week we had a call from Lydia from Hertford. She got in touch to tell us about her dad, Brian Byrne, who'd gone missing. Well, Lydia's back. Morning, Lydia.
Morning.
Just remind us when Dad went missing.
It was, it's 2 weeks today.
2 weeks today, and he's still not turned up, has he?
Nothing.
Let's get some of the kind of the facts out of the way. Just remind us what Dad looked like, and how old he is, and stuff like that.
Okay, yeah, he was, 58, of stocky build. He was around, 6'5", that kind of height, and, bit of a belly on him, just stock. I said this last week, but you just can't miss him. Like, that is it. And he was tanned, quite tanned, and then he was blue eyes.
I was going to say, I've seen the pictures. He's got quite striking eyes, hasn't he? He's got a twinkle in his eyes.
Yeah.
And we don't need to go into too much detail, but basically, him and his your mum had split up, and it hit him quite hard, hadn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, it did.
How are you feeling?
I don't know how I feel right now. I honestly don't. I literally feel, I don't know, I'm kind of torn at the moment because like I said last week, I'm still trying to keep it together for my family, what's left of it anyway. And, I don't have, my dad was my best mate. My dad was my best friend.
And the only reason I'm asking this, Lydia, because I know this is upsetting, is because you never know. There's a chance he might be listening.
Yeah.
Or he might hear this at some point.
Yeah.
And I think it's quite important for Brian, to know how upset everyone is, aren't they?
Yeah. Yeah.
You just want your dad to come home.
Yeah. Yeah, really do.
You're right to carry on?
Yeah, absolutely fine.
All right.
Absolutely fine.
All right. The police have released some CCTV footage, haven't they?
Yeah.
What's that, and where's that from?
That was from the Lee Valley Boating Centre, but they said, even though it's from around the time my dad dropped off his van there, around the area, they said they don't think it is him.
Right, okay.
I mean, I looked at it as well, and you can just tell by the way he walks and stuff, especially like me and my brother being his kids, you can just tell.
Yeah.
So, that's, I wouldn't have thought that was him, but, there's going to be a media release today by the police, because it's the anniversary and stuff.
Yeah.
So,
and remind us the van, because he left his work van. What did it look like, and where did he leave it?
It was a Vauxhall combo van, and last time it was actually seen, like, driven around, was the following day of him going missing, so I'd say a Friday, at Tesco petrol station in Hatfield. And he left it in Crownfield on the 13th of May. Well, that's when it was found. Crownfield in Nazing.
And what did it say? It's got what does it say on the side? I can't quite remember.
Night Group.
Okay, that's night with a K. And so, if anyone saw that driving around, or maybe pulling up, if they've got any information, he's doing a bloody good job of hiding, isn't he? If that's what he's choosing to do. What's your message to him, Lydia?
Like I said, he was my best friend. Just want him back.
All right.
I can't do this on my own. I can't look after my family on my own. You need him.
Have you got friends around you, Lydia, that are, kind of able to help a bit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone's been amazing.
Brilliant. And you've got someone that you can talk to about all of this stuff? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, good. Because I know we've got lots of people listening who'll be worried about you. I wish you the best of luck. If anyone knows anything, call 101 and the police. If you can call us, the best to give the police a call. And no one's angry with him, are they? They just want him to come home.
No, exactly.
He's not in trouble. No one's angry. No one's going to give him a clout around the ear. You just want Brian to come back home. All right, Lydia, listen, you go, and I'm going to let you go now, but I really appreciate your time.
Thank you.
I hope something good comes of today.
Thank you.
And he'll be very proud of you, I'm sure, when he gets back. All right, Lydia, take care.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much. Well, what can you say? What can you say? What can you say, really? I wish them all the very best of luck.
Across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is Iain Lee.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Isn't it interesting how Twitter, where am I going with this sentence, can kind of, it makes things more human, because we spoke to Lydia last week, the other week, and obviously I knew we were speaking to her today, and then I saw her on Twitter because she tweeted that she was coming on, and it's a really upsetting story anyway, but as soon as you see someone's face, I guess, I don't know, it just makes it even more real. Suddenly Lydia isn't someone on the phone who's upset, which is bad enough as is. You know, you can see she's an actual real... I don't know what I'm trying to say, but it's a whole family is affected, and you just think, oh dear.
Poor girl. I mean, you really feel for her dad, but also, I mean, that poor girl.
If he's hiding, he's doing a cracking job, Brian. You've proved you can do it. Time to come home now, mates, please. Thank you very much indeed. Let's hope we get a happy ending to that story very, very soon. Let's have some texts, shall we?
OK, you know, earlier on we solved world poverty and by just saying, you know, people need to move closer to Wells and that. James in Wolverton's got an idea about the NHS.
Oh, we're trying to... we need to solve things. We want to solve the NHS,
quick fixes.
Police... Quick fixes, please.
Yeah, I've solved the NHS issue, says James of Wolverton.
Yes.
Tell people to stop being sick. You're welcome.
Beautiful.
OK, we've got that one. And we've also got Mark in Bedford outing his sister's husband, right?
What? Really?
He's a bean fiend.
Oh, the beans. Again, still what?
My sister's husband is the same. He eats beans and sausage and chips when we are eating Christmas dinner. He's been the same all his life and still alive at 35.
My dad, bless him, never ate vegetables. Never ate vegetables. Couldn't stomach vegetables. And it was kind of... It was chips and beans, actually, and sausages. And then went... towards the end, when he found out he had cancer, he was dying, he started eating vegetables.
Oh.
I said, Dad, you've left that too late, mate. You've left that way. You should have been doing that the last 60 years, you silly idiot.
My granddad was that kind of bloke, and my gran decided that she had to take desperate measures to introduce something other than chips to his diet. So she made some roasted parsnips. Didn't tell him, just passed them off with his dinner. He ate the lot and said, them sweet chips were nice.
Sweet chips.
Never told him they were parsnips.
Ladies and gentlemen, sweet chips. 08459 455 555. We're trying to solve Britain's problems today, guys. Can you help us? Let's get the travel.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
On the M1 southbound, there's a lane closed between junction 11 for Dunstable and 10 for Luton Airport, but that's causing queues from junction 12 for Flitwick, and it's all because of a broken down lorry. On the M25, there are still long delays anti-clockwise from junction 24 for Potters Bar towards the junction 21A for the M1 south because of a car fire earlier. In Howwood, on the North Orbital Road, there are queues because it's looking really busy between the Watling Street at the Park Street roundabouts and the M25 junction 21A, and that's not because of those problems on the M25, sorry. And in Coney Heath on the North Orbital Road there, that's very busy from the High Street towards the Park Street roundabout too. On the A1 southbound approaching the Black Cat roundabout, there are delays from the St Neots junction. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Sammy, thank you very much indeed. I need to come up with something for Justin. We'll have a little thinky poos. If you've got any suggestions, 81333, start your text 3CR. Right, let's get the news. We'll speak after this.
Across beds, hearts and bugs.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's 7:30. I'm Simon Oxley. A man from Hertfordshire is among 8 men who have been charged over the raid on a Hatton Garden safe deposit firm in London. 58-year-old Carl Wood from Elderbeck Close in Cheshunt has been charged with conspiracy to burgle, along with 7 others from London and Kent. The men are due to appear before Westminster Magistrates Court later. The children's charity, the NSPCC, says children are lying about their age online all too frequently. It comes after an Aylesbury teacher was banned from teaching after dating a 15-year-old girl. And David Cameron is promising radical changes to control immigration and put an end to illegal working. In a speech this morning, he'll say the police will be given the powers to seize the wages of those working illegally.
Three Counties Sports.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Former England striker Teddy Sheringham will be confirmed as the new Stevenage manager today. There's a lunchtime press conference at the Lamex Stadium. The former Spurs and Manchester United star will take over from Graham Westley after the borough confirmed that Westley's contract would not be renewed. More from Jeff Doyle.
Chairman Phil Wallace says the club need to refresh and evolve, but admits it's risky. 13 players will follow Wesley out the door. Long-serving John Ashton is the most high-profile, although he didn't feature regularly last season. But Bira Dembele and Simon Walton, Chris Beardsley and Andy Bond did, and they've been released, as have Harry Worley and Calvin Zola, who were hampered by injury.
Watford goalkeeper Aurelio Gomez has signed a new 3-year contract, and Sunderland are safe from relegation from the Premier League after a goalless draw at Arsenal last night. The final relegation place now rests between Hull and Newcastle. England's cricketers start the first test against New Zealand at Lords this morning. Here's Jonathan Agnew.
After the recent further upheaval, England's cricketers will be pleased to take the field once again, for it's only through success there that the game can move forward. New Zealand will present a tough challenge through their positive approach, and Southey and Bolt, who are two of the best swing bowlers in the business. It promises, therefore, to be a tough baptism for Cook's latest opening partner, Adam Lyth, who had better not be superstitious. He's the 666th cricketer to represent England, and who have the Devil's number emblazoned on his shirt.
And practice starts this morning for Sunday's Monaco Grand Prix. Championship leader Hertfordshire's Lewis Hamilton yesterday signed a new 3-year contract with Mercedes worth a reported £100 million. BBC Three Counties News and Sports. The next full bulletin is at 8.
Call 08459 455 555.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Oh, yeah, we got rid of the littlest hobo, didn't we?
Oh.
Any texters? We deleted it, guys. We deleted it because Mark didn't like it, so we deleted the littlest hobo. Because of Mark.
When I went home yesterday, I was told that our children...
You like that, Kels?
Yeah. That was really funny. Our children had been singing the littlest hobo, and I had to break the news to them. They were very upset.
He's dead. He's been shot. He's had a shot to the heart. Mark's to blame. He gave the littlest hobo a bad name.
I mean, I can always get it back if anyone wants.
No, mate, it's gone. It's gone. We don't go back on our word here on this show.
No bow to the hobo.
There we go.
Pat says, Ian, we keep hearing from Beds Police that they'll have to lose 134 police officers, but no mention of culling the PCSOs. Why? You don't have to kill them. Yeah. Surely we want police officers first to stay, or are PCSOs more important to the service?
They're cheaper.
Pat. Yeah.
They're cheaper, that's why. Next. Update next. So it's obvious. OBS. Hashtag OBS.
That's the thing.
It came in a jam jar.
And it tasted of gooseberries.
Yay.
Wow.
Anything else?
No, not really, no.
Morning, Justin.
Boss, I'm not happy.
Wait,
I'm not happy this morning.
Mate, wagwan.
Wagwan.
Oh, hang on, sorry. Can I just say this to you?
Good morning, sir.
There we go.
Gets me right in the mood.
Doesn't it just?
I'm in sunny Harps this morning.
Hey.
I love Harpenden.
Harps stay sharp to the bottom of the glass.
But you know what? I've driven past Junction 10 to get here this morning,
Beautiful
and
junction.
I've driven past that horrible Welcome to Luton sign.
I keep missing this Welcome to Luton sign.
It's dreadful.
I keep missing it. What?
Where's the statue of Eric Morecambe? Where's the plane? Where's the Littlewoods Cup? Where's the big hats? The people of Luton
Where's the
deserve better.
Ollie Murs pork pie hat?
Yeah, exactly.
Where is that? We love Luton. We love Ollie Murs.
Just rubbish.
I've not seen this sign. Junction 10, I've got to say, though, guys, brap, it is looking blinging, isn't it?
Sexy.
And now it's up to 50 miles an hour. Whoa, feeling hot, hot, hot. I love it there. I love it.
Oh,
is
I love
it finished, though? Because there's still a bit where there's loads of trucks and workmen and stuff. They said it was going to be finished in spring. Well, spring has sprung, mate.
Well, you know what these roadworks are like, but it's looking a lot better. It's looking a lot more organised. It's just a sign. I just think that people
you know what these roadworks are like?
They deserve better.
That's like
mate.
saying you know what these Chinese are like. What does that mean? You're being racist about roadworks.
Yeah, and do you know what? I don't deny that.
Well, fair play, fair play. I respect your racist stance. I do, against roadworks, not the other stuff. That's out of order. And who's opening it? Of course, they should be asking me to open it. I'll cut the ribbon.
They already opened it before it was open.
What do you mean?
They did, didn't they?
No, there's a sign that says it'll be open. Well, then you need a ribbon. You need a ribbon, and I will happily cut that ribbon.
So does that mean, then, that they're going to close the road completely while somebody cuts a ribbon?
Yes.
Yeah, great vibes.
And I'll do it for £10,000. What else is there to go on these days.
Yeah, it's true.
Have we got any texts? Because I'll be honest, I'm struggling to find anything for Justin to do.
We haven't, but we've got some disgruntled hobo fans. JBDC, John Nace, 15 on Twitter says, no littlest hobo, no littlest me. And Alzheimer's is sad for you on Twitter about your jam jar drink.
Oh, it was just...
Those darned hipsters have got a lot to answer for. Jam jar.
Flipping hipsters. Here's something, Just.
Yeah.
The paper is slim pickings. Combination of things. Slim pickings... And I've lost my mojo. Those two things combined, I mean, we're struggling through today, but we'll get there. We'll get there. Here's something, right? Ben Spencer, the science reporter in the Daily Mail. Now, I'd heard this before. No one does this, surely. Doctor's orders why you should always wash new clothes. What the heck?
What?
But new clothes are the cleanest of all clothes.
Of course they are.
They're the cleanest of all clothes.
Yeah.
New clothes should be run through the washing machine before they are worn. A leading doctor has warned. Flippin' hell. Chemicals used to give garments a wrinkle-free look on shop mannequins could be responsible for rashes, itches and all manner of allergic reactions, according to a skin expert.
That is absolute nonsense.
Who's going to go? Who is going? My wife, get this right, man. If we buy new crockery, she'll wash it before we eat on it.
No, I get that.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Well, it's a plate. It's been in a shop.
Yeah, it's a plate. It's been in the shop, so it's clean.
But it's had
so I'm going to have my dinner on it. It's not had beans on it.
Everyone's been touching it.
Yeah.
No one's been touching it.
They're not touching it with just the knuckles.
It's
they're
in a
touching it
box.
with their fingers. You know where the fingers have been.
Do you wash your toothbrush before you...
No, of course not.
Well, no, but that's in a sealed container. That's different.
But still, that's going in your mouth.
Do you wash everything you put in your mouth?
Yes.
Well, good.
It's the only way.
What if there's no running water?
Wet wipe.
Or you could do a mum wash where you spit on it and rub it with a hanky.
Yeah, we could do that. Hello, brutality.
So, Justin.
Yes.
I mean, this is literally the best I've got, and I know I'm giving you the scraps from the table, but this, I mean, you can make magic out of this.
Is the question, do you wash things before you put them in your mouth, or...
No, it's not.
It's not that, no, okay.
No, it's not that. It's not that. Oh,
do you wash new clothes before you wear them?
I mean,
is that the question?
I mean, it's not the greatest thing to take. Hang on a second. Ian.
Hi, Ian, how you doing?
I'm all right, fella. What you got?
It's the same with fruit and veg, mate, because I'll always wash fruit and veg because you don't know what people have been doing with their
No,
hands
I
before.
don't buy that either. Listen, it's my wife's always washing vegetables and peeling carrots. No, listen, if it don't kill you, mate, it makes you... This is why we've got kids with ADHD, autism, and loads of allergies, because they don't eat dirt. You need to eat germs. You need to put germs in your body. Otherwise, you will get diseases and your body will become weak.
Ian, you could have been down the fruit and veg stall down the market, and the bloke before you deciding which apple to pick, and he's just been picking his bum or whatever he's been doing.
He's been doing what?
Well, picking his bum or his nose or whatever.
Picking his bum? Jeez, no wonder no one's listening.
And then he handles your apple. That's disgusting.
Well, as long as he doesn't handle my plums, I'm fine.
That's right.
Ian, listen, we need to send Justin out on something, and I'm coming up with nothing here. I've got blanks.
Here's one.
Yes.
I was in the bank yesterday afternoon.
You did?
Can hear me
I
all
can't.
right?
It's a terrible line, Ian. Say that again.
Okay. I was in the bank yesterday afternoon.
Yes.
Paying some money in. So I paid some money in, about 40 odd quid. And then I had my wallet, me changed part of the wallet. So I took about 20 pence out and said to the girl, I'll put that in the charity box behind the counter. She said, oh, that's nice, thanks very much. And I said, oh, actually, while we're at it, I might as well lighten my wallet, put the rest of this change in. And I meant to put it into my account because it was about 9 quid.
Aye.
And she put it straight into the charity box.
Oh.
That's really nice of you. So, have you ever given to charity when you didn't mean to?
Ian, thank you. It's a bit niche, just.
Very, very niche.
It's a very, very niche thing.
I'm just thinking about the people of Harpenden. We've got a very smart tan lady walking up to us right now. Madam, can I ask you one very quick question? Okay. When you buy new clothes, do you wash them before you wear them?
No.
Okay. What about fruit and veg?
Yes.
Okay. What about plates?
No, they come from the dishwasher and then they get used after they've been stored.
Okay, and the Holy Grail. When have you ever given to charity when you didn't mean to give to charity? It's our niche phone-in. Have you got an answer for us on the niche phone-in?
Not really. I always choose who I want to give my charity money to.
Okay, that's enough. Thank you very much. I think it's too niche.
It's very, very niche. And if I'm honest, I kind of dozed off for the 2.5 minutes you were speaking to that wonderful lady.
What? It wasn't 2.5 minutes.
It felt like it.
All right, mate.
Well, do you know what I'm saying?
Look, I'm road testing your phone-ins live. What more do you want?
No, I want a good phone-in, mate. There's the baked beans guy. I mean, there's
If you could,
Or do we just send Justin home? I mean, we might as well just send him home.
We could just ask an
nothing.
open question. We could just ask an open question today.
Well, so you know, I'm not scared of asking any question on the streets. It's up to
Cliff
you.
Richard?
No.
What if you just go up to someone and say, what are you thinking?
What's on your mind?
I can road test that now if you want to.
Yeah, road test it.
Road test it. Ladies,
road
can I
test
borrow
it.
you for 30 seconds? Okay. 20 seconds. Okay. Madam, we're BBC Three Counties Radio. We're live across Beds, Hearts and Bucks. What's your name?
Siobhan.
Siobhan. Okay, Siobhan, what are you thinking?
I don't know.
There you go.
I like it,
as good as it
Justin.
gets.
Kelly, I like your style. Justin, you can make that work.
Oh, come on.
She was
what are you thinking?
I don't know. It's a hard question. Honestly, mate, we got nothing. The papers, I mean, Cliff Richard?
I'm going to go and
He's
hang
selling
out
his
with
house.
I'm going to go and hang out with the people of Harps.
All right,
okay?
mate,
I'm
yeah.
going to go and
Yeah.
talk to them about local issues, and you let me know at some point in your own time what you want, and I shall come back and talk to the people.
I mean, there's literally...
What about if you
Yes.
could only eat one meal for the rest of your life?
Oh, no. It's like, what's the best sandwich?
Well, yeah. All right, we'll have what's the best sandwich?
No. That's like, what's the best biscuit?
What is the best
No.
What's your
that's
favourite toy from the 70s?
No, right.
When was the last time you saw a white dog poo?
No, right.
Should we bring back the death penalty?
Oh, flipping heck. Let's legalise cannabis. Please, let's legalise cannabis. 08459. I got it. We're going meta.
Okay.
Do you want to go meta?
Okay, whatever you want. Your name's above the door, not mine.
We're going meta, Justin.
Okay.
We're going to we're going to enter ourselves and come out through our mouths. You ask the people on Harpenden, the streets of Harpenden, what you should be asking the people on the streets of Harpenden. Ladies and gentlemen, we have opened Pandora's box. We have crossed the Rubicon. We have gone meta. Justin, can you do that?
I think I can.
Wowzers. Thanks, buddy. Speak
Thank
to you
you,
soon.
boss.
Ta-ta.
Cheers.
Ta-ta. Ta-ta. Honestly, there's nothing in the papers for like the last 6 weeks. The best thing is this Scrabble thing and a fella eating baked beans. It's absolute rubbish. And they're talking about the bank holiday strike. Well, I mean, really, who cares?
But we, on the other hand, are doing important work this morning. We've solved world poverty and hunger.
Yes.
We've sorted out the NHS.
Easy.
And now, with the help of Damon, we're going to sort out the greenhouse effect.
Go on,
that,
fella.
Right, ready? Stop global warming by eating kangaroos. Kangaroos apparently don't produce methane, which is a very bad greenhouse gas and destroys the ozone layer.
Yeah.
Cows and sheep produce loads of methane. So, if we stop farming them and ate kangaroos instead for our tea, global warming is sorted. Easy. Damon, wheat instead.
I never trust kangaroos. Do they? Has anyone ever? Because when I was a kid, in cartoons, a kangaroo would always get mistaken for a giant mouse, wouldn't it? Do you remember?
Yeah.
And then they would have boxing gloves on. Has there ever is a boxing kangaroo? Is that a real
It's
thing?
the thing, they box each other.
No, but do they box? Can a human pay good Australian dollar? Great exchange rate at the moment. This is why I'm interested. Can a human pay Australian dollar, go into a ring where you are confronted by a boxing glove wearing kangaroo and then have an actual punch up with it?
I think they used to do that, but the problem is that kangaroos don't play by the rules. You know what they like to do? They will swing back and kick you in the cojones.
That's mixed martial arts, isn't it? That's what that is, AAFC. All Action Fighting Club that I'm a member of. That's what we do. That's what we do. That's what we do. And we just... I bet Peter, the animal charity, will have something. They'll probably have beef with that. I mean, you shouldn't be boxing kangaroos. If they didn't like it, they wouldn't put the gloves on and wear the shorts, would they?
Travel news for beds, cards and bucks.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
There are queues on the M1 southbound from junction 12 for Flitwick towards junction 10 for the Luton Airport Spur Road because a lorry's broken down. On the M25 anti-clockwise, there are long queues from junction 24 for Potters Bar to 21A for the M1 south. That's because of a car fire earlier. And the A10 is very slow northbound from the Harlow turn-off towards the Hoddesdon roundabout in both directions through the roadworks. The A1 is busy southbound from the St Neots junction towards the Black Cat roundabout, and it's also looking slow on the speed sensors in Beaconsfield on Amersham Road from Longbottom Lane towards the A40 London Road. There's no reports of any delays on the trains at the moment. Samantha Braff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you, Sammy. 7:45. It's Thursday, the 21st of May. I'm Iain Lee. These are your headlines on BBC Three Counties Radio. A man from Hertfordshire is among 8 men who've been charged over the raid on a Hatton Garden safe deposit firm in London. The NSPCC says children are lying about their age online all too frequently after an Aylesbury teacher was banned from teaching after dating a 15-year-old girl. And former England striker Teddy Sheringham will be confirmed as the new Stevenage manager at a lunchtime press conference. Let's get the weather. Here's Elizabeth.
Beds, Hearts and Bucks weather.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Hello, very good morning to you. We've got some cloud around this morning, but lots of bright skies still. Some sunshine towards western areas, but the sunshine will make an appearance later on again today, probably in a few hours or so if it is cloudy where you are at the moment. It's going to be dry and fine today. Lots of good spells of sunshine and feeling a bit warmer than it has done over the last couple of days too, with just a fairly light westerly breeze. Now we're looking at top afternoon temperatures all the way up to around 18 or possibly 19 Celsius, 66 in Fahrenheit. Lots of sunshine through the afternoon and again into the evening. A lovely end to the day once more. Overnight tonight it'll feel a bit milder than it has done recently, possibly some rather misty conditions over the hills and lows of around 8 or 9 degrees, staying dry with some clear spells at first as well. And then into tomorrow, a cloudier day but still some brightness around, mostly dry, the risk of a few showers perhaps a bit later on through the afternoon. Even warmer tomorrow, temperatures easily up to 20, possibly 21 Celsius, 70 in Fahrenheit. Over the bank holiday weekend, still firming up on the details, but it looks like it'll be mostly dry and fine. A few showers possible on Monday. That's the forecast.
Sometimes in life, things don't always go to plan.
It worked perfectly for 2.5, 3 years till 2 days ago.
He should refund me £1,900.
Which is where we come in.
We managed to get them to agree to come back in to the property on an agreed date.
The JVS show takes on your consumer problems.
I basically lost the whole lot in administration charges.
And helps to get to the right solution.
I've received a cheque back for £578.
Jonathan, I can't thank you enough. I don't know how you do what you do, you and your team.
The JVS show, weekdays from 9, here on BBC Three Counties Radio.
Here we go, guys. I'm sure that JVS will be picking this up and discussing this at 9 o'clock. One of our local councils has a cunning plan to tackle unscooped dog poop. They're going to paint it red. North Herts District Council are so pleased with the results in Royston, where they sprayed 116 deposits, that they're going to do the same thing in Letchworth. Well, I'm joined now by Councillor Bernard Lovewell from North Herts Council. Morning, Bernard.
Good morning to you.
Tell me how this idea works and where it came from, please.
Well, we thought of trying to find all sorts of ways to tackle this problem, which is a big problem everywhere. And we had a particular problem in the Yorkway Recreation Ground in Royston. So we came up with this idea of trying to highlight it by, as you say, we've sprayed the deposits in red, which highlights how many actual deposits there are, and it's obviously made it very public. I have to say that once it's sprayed red and it isn't just left there, it is removed.
So how long does it? You spray it red and then it's collected. How long is it left there sprayed red?
It's not left very long,
okay.
And when it's removed, the red spray stays for a while and then disappears. But it does highlight to people how many instances of this we have. But I think the main point of it is that we also carried out an exercise in this particular area of patrolling every day for part of each day and talking to people. Of course, it's got people's interest, and we were able to go out there and talk to people, and we've had extremely positive feedback And more important than that, the instances of left deposits has diminished greatly. So
is this because are you shaming the dog so that they don't do it again? Is that the impact?
I don't think we can shame dogs. Hopefully we can shame those few people who walk their dogs who don't pick up after them. And most dog owners are very responsible. It is the few that cause the problem, and it has highlighted it. And it's also we're trying to encourage people to let us know if they see persistent offenders so that we can actually tackle them head on.
It's awful, isn't it? It's awful. It's so disgusting.
Yes, it is, yes.
Tell you, another thing that I don't know if this happens in your area, Bernard, but have you seen this? You know, sometimes the people will collect the dog faeces.
Yes.
Then they leave it in the little bag hanging on a wall or on a fence or from a tree.
Yes, that is right.
That's weird, isn't it?
We hear more and more. The penalties for that are very much higher than leaving it behind, I have to say.
What are the penalties for hanging it on a tree and a penalty for leaving it on the floor?
There's it then becomes into littering laws, and the fine for that is up to £2,500 if people deposit it on the wall in trees, and it's disgusting. It does happen, and if we catch them, we don't hesitate to prosecute.
Have you caught anybody who's, are there people that patrol the streets, and if they see a dog doing a whoopsie and it not being cleaned up, they go, oi?
We don't have people patrolling specifically, although we have in this operation, and we're shortly to start a similar operations on the Jackman's estate in Letchworth Garden City, and where we have another particular problem. We do have officers from time to time, but of course they're engaged in all sorts of other things, and we do need the publics to keep their eyes open for us and let us know if there's a problem and who's causing that problem.
Who drew the short straw, Bernard? Who goes around with the can of paint?
Well, one of our enviro-crime officers has this lovely job, and she's done a brilliant job doing this and educating people, and she's also been picking it up. So it's not the best job in the world.
I hope the council provides her with gloves.
But she's provided with everything, but it's still not a pleasant job, and she shouldn't have to do it. And the dog owners should be.
Yeah, I know. It's I'm not really a doggy person at all, Bernard. I'm a cat man.
Yes, am I.
But good, far more sensible, because they go and bury it in other people's gardens, which is fine. But it is just horrible. It's disgusting, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, it's not only disgusting; it's dangerous.
Yeah.
There is a parasitic worm in this that can cause serious illness.
We spoke to a fella a while ago that had gone blind as a kiddie.
It can cause blindness, yes, and has done. And children are particularly vulnerable. And so it's not only unsightly and smelly and horrible; it's also very dangerous to health.
Bernard, good luck. Let's hope you eradicate these horrible people and I don't mean kill them, but that you manage to clear up the mess. Thank you, Bernard. Good work. Councillor Bernard Lovewell from North Herts Council. What was that woman's job title? Enviro-crime. Is that what she was involved in?
Enviro-crime officer.
Flipping it. We'll have some of
Sounds
that.
like RoboCop.
Any texts?
Yeah, loads.
Go on then.
John says, hi, I too agree that UB40 suck big time.
Yeah.
This is because UB40 had to turn fans away. Not themselves. They were a bit busy doing a concert, but apparently they sold too many tickets for a concert.
Awful.
UB40. He says, I think my worst gig would be U2 supported by UB40 with the special guest of Eric Clapton.
Yeah!
The new Luton sign has a wonky M, says Carlos from Luton, and he sent us a picture.
Look forward to seeing that.
And Rich from Luton says, always clean your plate after purchase. You don't know what the warehouse conditions are.
Oh, come on.
I've heard some stories about warehouses.
No, we clean too much, is my philosophy. We clean too much. You need germs in your body. This is what vaccine is. Vaccine is germs, it's disease in your body. And this is why kids these days are all kind of fey and limp, because they don't eat mud.
You can get, special detergent for vegetables. I don't like the idea of that.
No,
they are grown in muck, so, you're going to expect a bit of muck.
Listen, if your potato or your carrot hasn't got a bit of mud on it, then you don't know where it's been. It's got mud on it, it's been in the ground. Beautiful, I'll have some of that.
I'm very suspicious of a clean carrot. My husband
At most, I will polish cocks.
Your apples?
Yeah, I'll get it and I'll rub it on my jeans. And I'll polish my cocks. I love cocks, and I will polish them till they're quite shiny, but that's as far as it goes.
You know why? Because they put wax on them to make them shinier in the shop, and I don't want to eat wax.
Beautiful, lovely, delicious wax on my cocks.
My husband always has to wash his new clothes, says Lisa in Leighton Buzzard. It's pointless.
Your husband's weird?
Yep, she agrees. And Stephen King's Langley is glad to see the back of the Littlest Hobo.
It's gone.
Am I the only one who's glad it's gone? And put out of his misery, says Stephen King's Langley.
We are replacing... If anyone wants to do a remix of this...
Stetson.
We'll replace it with that. Followed by... The sequel wasn't quite so good.
Doorbells.
Yeah. So it turned... Everyone's... every now and then the story pops up that video games are bad for you. And yesterday it was saying if you play Grand Theft Auto, you'll get dementia. Well, how do you know? How do you know that? It's not been out long enough to have done that. And now that the Mirror's kind of picking up on that story. Are our kids at risk from game brain drain? Well, A, that doesn't mean anything, so B, no. And then they've spoken to Professor Mark Griffiths.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's right, Kelly. Professor Mark Griffiths. Your guide to protecting Generation Xbox.
Oh, for heaven's sake.
And he's got Professor Mark Griffiths' 7 golden gaming rules for parents. Number 1, check the content of the games your children play. Well, duh. These are all... after all of these, you go, oh, duh, really? 2. No, don't. My mum did this, and it turned me against my mum. I still hate my mum because of number 2. Try to give them games that are educational, brackets, but still fun. Let's play Crazy Math. Let's play Lingo Bingo. Let's play Word Fun. Rather than violent ones. Well, my mum bought me a BBC Micro because it was educational instead of a Spectrum, and I still bear that grudge.
Hey, we could do violent maths.
Mate. 3. Encourage them to play in groups instead of on their own. It means they will work together and talk to other youngsters more. The fact he's used the word youngsters shows that this guy's a sad case.
Griffiths.
4. Set limits on the time they spend playing computer games. Tell them they can play for a couple of hours after they've done their homework or chores, not before. It's common sense, you muppet! Oh, for crying out loud. I mean, and this is just awful. 5. Get them to follow the recommendations made by the manufacturers, such as sitting at least 2 feet from the screen and playing in a well-lit room. Turn the lights on, the room isn't well-lit. You shouldn't be shooting zombies in a dark room. You might get scared. And also, you don't have to sit far away from the TV now, because TVs are different. You had to sit far away from them because it was all pixels. I don't know what you would call those little dots. They had a word, anyway. And so if you got too close, the picture would you wouldn't see the picture clearly, and it would muff up your eyes. And then he said something completely different. But now TVs are different. So you can sit as close as you want to a TV, I reckon.
You might even be using a handheld device.
6. Do not let them play when they are tired.
Oh, for heaven's sake.
And number 7, if all else fails, take the console away and give it back to them on a part-time basis. This will enable you to take more control of their gaming habits. That's what you should be doing anyway. I always had to ask my mum permission to get the computer out. Mum, can I play on the computer? No. Go on. All right, then. Round my little finger. But this guy, I'm going to find Professor Mark Griffiths and I'm going to wave my finger in his face and say, whoa.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
On the M1 southbound, there are delays from junction 12 for Flitwick to junction 10 for the Luton Airport because of a broken down vehicle there, which is causing it to be really slow and there's no lanes blocked at the moment. All the lanes have been reopened, but it's just really slow. On the A1M southbound, it's busy past junction 7 for Stevenage, and the M25 anti-clockwise still has long delays between junction 24 for Potters Bar and 21A for the M1 south because of a car fire earlier. It's also causing problems in Howwood on the North Orbital Road at southbound from the M25 junction 21A for St Albans towards the Park Street roundabout. It's looking really slow. And looking at the train departure boards, there are no reports of any delays at the moment. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you, Sammy. 08459 455 555. Those rules about video games are common sense, aren't they? Most of them. And some are just plain dumb. Dear. I love video games.
Local and vocal across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's 8 o'clock. I'm Simon Oxley. The headlines: Hertfordshire man charged with Hatton Garden raid, online warning after Aylesbury teacher banned, and Stevenage to confirm Teddy Sheringham as their new manager.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
A man from Hertfordshire is among 8 men who have been charged over the raid on a Hatton Garden safe deposit firm in London. 58-year-old Carl Wood from Elderbeck Close in Cheshunt has been charged with conspiracy to burgle, along with 7 others from London and Kent. The men are due to appear before Westminster Magistrates Court later. More from Ben Ando.
All 8 were among the 9 people who were arrested in raids carried out by the police on Tuesday at 12 different locations in London and in Kent. More than 200 police officers involved in that, and those raids coming, of course, just over 6 weeks after the burglary itself. The magistrates' hearing will be a very simple, straight up and down. It'll be a chance, if they wish to, for them to enter a plea, although they don't have to at this stage. The police investigation certainly is continuing.
The children's charity, the NSPCC, says children are lying about their age online all too frequently. It comes after an Aylesbury teacher was banned from teaching after dating a 15-year-old girl. 40-year-old Jeffrey Tansey initially believed the girl he met on a dating website was over 18. Professor Carsten Maple is the Director of Cybersecurity Research at the University of Warwick.
Age verification can make it more difficult, but if they are determined, whatever the process, they'll work ways to get around it. And as you say, we need to educate them because they could be putting themselves in real danger by misrepresentation online.
David Cameron is promising radical changes to control immigration and put an end to illegal working. In a speech this morning, he'll say the police will be given the powers to seize the wages of those working illegally. Police are continuing their search for a Hertfordshire man who went missing 2 weeks ago today. 58-year-old Brian Byrne from Hertford was last seen at his home address on the evening of the 7th of May. Searches took place on stretches of the River Lee near Broxbourne on Saturday. Train companies have started cancelling services over the bank holiday weekend because of the planned strike by Network Rail workers. Virgin Trains has scrapped all services on the West Coast Main Line on Monday and Tuesday, and there will be no London Midland services between Milton Keynes and London. Thameslink are urging people not to travel and say there will be major disruption on Wednesday as well. In sport, former England striker Teddy Sheringham will be confirmed as the new Stevenage manager today. There's a lunchtime press conference at the Lamex Stadium. The former Spurs and Manchester United star will take over from Graham Westley, with chairman Phil Wallace hinting at possible changes in the boardroom as well. Our Stevenage commentator Steve Watkins says Sheringham's arrival should boost attendances.
One of the big briefs at the moment to the chief executive is to increase the crowd base. He's not finding that particularly easy with the brand of football that's been played. It's winning football, but it's not been the most attractive at times.
The weather, a dry day with warm sunshine this afternoon, a maximum temperature 19 degrees Celsius, and you can get the latest news and sport online at bbc.co.uk/3 counties.
Thank you, Simon. Morning, Iain Lee, BBC Three Counties Radio. Video games, baked beans. There really is. The world seems to have stopped. There's nothing going on, guys. Washing stuff. That's what we're dealing with. You can give us a call. You know the rules by now. You can call us about the stuff we're talking about, or you can give us a call and talk about, well, anything. 08459 455 555.
Across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
Graham's on the line. Morning, Graham.
Morning, Ian.
What you got for us, boss?
Kelly's Violent Maths.
Yes, Violent Maths.
Yeah, well, 789.
It did.
Get it?
Graham, yes, I got it when I was 6, and I get it when I'm I'm nearly 42.
I remember thinking about violence as well.
Yes.
My lad was talking to me the other day. You want to beat him up still.
Say that again. It's very hard to hear you, Graham. You guys, it sounds like you're calling from a mining facility.
I am in a mining facility.
There you go.
My lad, he said you wanted to beat him up, the karate lad.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's all you've got that 11-year-old karate boy.
Yeah.
Bring him. He's not turned up yet, Graham. He's not turned up, and I'm ready. I've got me nunchucks. I've got me throwing stars. I will destroy your 11-year-old son.
He said to me the other day, he said, Dad, can I fight you? I was like, why? Because when I want to beat up that man on the radio. So he's definitely up for it.
Well, listen, tell him I will kick the whatever out of him, bearing in mind that offer does stop when he turns 14 and hits puberty, okay? So it's got to happen while he's a karate child, Graham. Thank you. For anyone who's not heard me speaking to Graham before, I know we've got the NSPCC on next. I'm talking about being a kid. Don't worry, it's a joke. Graham's son does karate. Karate, of all things. And my theory is you can't have kids that are black belts in karate, because what do they know? What do they know? They don't know nothing. And yes, 7, 8, 9. Terrible story.
Across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is Iain Lee.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
PCC say children all too frequently lie about their age online. You don't say. It comes after an Aylesbury man was banned from teaching after dating a 15-year-old girl. 40-year-old Jeffrey Tansey initially believed the girl he met on a dating website was over 18. John Brown is the NSPCC's lead for tackling sexual abuse and joins me now. Morning, John.
Good morning, Iain.
This case is interesting. I mean, initially... Mr. Tansey thought the young woman was 18 because that's what she said, and then he found out that she was 15, and he still continued to see her. But that is a problem, isn't it? Because there doesn't seem to be any way of policing these websites. People can go on and say they're any age, can't they?
They can do, and that's part of the risk of the internet, I guess. I mean, obviously the internet has brought huge benefits and changed our lives in many ways. But but one of the risks, and one of the many risks online is that it's not possible to verify someone's age, and there are plenty of people out there who, for various reasons, are going to want to lie about their age, and we know that can be the case with young people as well. There can be various temptations for them to do that, and for us at the NSPCC, it's about giving good quality information and early education for children in schools, really, about life online and about the benefits of life online, as well as some of the risks and what to do if they feel they're getting into trouble.
They're not going to listen to you, though, are they? With the greatest of respect, if you kind of go into a classroom and speak to them like that, they're not going to listen, are they?
No, they're not going to listen to me going along to talk to them about it. But what we've found from our work and what we've found from our work on Childline and from research we've done is that some of the best ways to do it are well constructed things that can go into the curriculum, but also what we call peer-to-peer education as well. And by that we mean young people, slightly older young people, coming back into school who have been there and done it and experienced it and got into problems, coming back and talking to younger children about it. That's what children tell us works best for them, and that's what they tell us is most effective, really, listening to young people who've been there and done it and who may be a little bit older.
It's always gone on, though. But, before the internet, I lied about my age so I could get booze when I was a kid. I know, there were girls at my school who were 14 who looked older and said they were 18, 19, 20, so they could cop off with older blokes. Now, looking back, obviously, that was ridiculous, but it's always gone on, hasn't it? Young people always want to pretend they are older than they actually are.
It has always gone on, but I think the trouble is the internet has amplified it and amplified some of the risks. I mean, I think with this case, the important thing to remember is, the responsibility always lies with the adult, and if someone's wanting to engage in a relationship with someone who is clearly younger, and why, one would question really why someone who's 40 would be wanting to engage in a relationship with someone with that age difference anyway.
Well, John, I think you know why a 40-year-old would want to engage in a relationship with an 18-year-old.
And a person in a position of responsibility, a teacher.
But it's not illegal, is it? A 40-year-old and an 18-year-old. Why? It makes me slightly uncomfortable, but it's not illegal.
No, it's not illegal, but of course it is with a 15-year-old.
Yeah.
If there's any quite accept that some young people can look older than they are, but the responsibility lies entirely with the adult to
really,
check
even
out.
if
and also, when he then found out that she was 15.
Oh yeah, totally. When he found out she was 15, that's when it definitely it crossed a very serious, a big line. But if I mean, I would never go out with an 18-year-old. I feel uncomfortable. My wife's 5 years younger than me. I know that's as big an age gap as I get. But there is nothing legal in a 40-year-old with an 18-year-old. And is it really the 40-year-old's responsibility to check their birth certificate and their date of birth?
It's that's probably not realistic or kind of viable. But the responsibility, the responsibility does lie primarily, does lie with the adult to ensure that they are clear and as far as they can be to ensure that they know that young person is over the age.
If they say they're 18, why would I question that?
Well, that sometimes when those cases go to court, that can be brought as mitigation. And obviously, if it's been proved, for example, in a court case that the adult has gone to, kind of great lengths to try to ensure or be satisfied that young person is over the age of consent, then that clearly can be used as mitigation. But I think with this situation, obviously, it became clear to him, and generally speaking, it does become pretty clear in our experience at the NSPCC that something's not right and that young person is not in fact over 18 or indeed over the age of consent. It does become pretty clear.
How does it become clear? Because I would struggle to tell the difference. I think.
Well, I mean, there's physical maturity, but there's also emotional and kind of mental maturity as well, isn't there? And I think for a 40-year-old and a 40-year-old teacher who's used to working with children would be able to, I think.
See, and that is where I think the NSPCC have got things wrong, because 14, 15, 16-year-old boys and girls in particular, I would suggest, are physically very mature. They can look like young women, and also I think that 15, 16, 17-year-old girls are more emotionally mature than they were when I was at school.
That they are.
So you can't tell from those things.
So what do we do then, Ian? Do we just say, well, that's okay then, and that's just the risk that we take?
No, but I don't think the NSPCC suggesting that young people are not emotionally mature, and then saying that if you're a 40-year-old bloke and you fancy having it away with an 18-year-old, which is perfectly legal and maybe a bit weird to you and me, but it's legal and people do it. That you should be checking how old they are. But I don't know how you would do that.
It's not always possible to absolutely, of course, verify. But I think it's the point I'm making, that we're making at the NSPCC, is that of course we think the responsibility must lie with the adult, with the mature adult, with the older person. And clearly we know that physical maturity can be unclear and can be confusing sometimes. But the point I'm also making is that emotional maturity, and particularly in this case with someone like a teacher, they really should be able to realise and understand that in fact this young person is not 18.
I don't know, John. I think you're painting with too broad a brushstrokes. I know 35-year-olds that have got the maturity of a 16-year-old. It's I don't know. I just think that you're being a little bit too generalistic in your terms, and it's not as clear cut as we would like it to be.
It sometimes it isn't clear cut, and particularly with young people, kind of 15, 16, and around that age. Sometimes it's not that clear. Of course it's not. But I think for any presumption that kind of it's the fault of the young person. Clearly, they shouldn't be making up their age online, and that's about kind of good quality and early information and education for children and young people. But given that significant age difference, we're very clear at the NSPCC responsibility. However hazy or difficult that can be sometimes, has to lie with the adult.
Listen, I'm really attracted to you. I'm a lot older than you. Before we do engage in sex, can I see your birth certificate? Can I phone your mum up?
Well,
what date were you born?
It would depend on the circumstances.
I just don't know how it would work. John, come on, no one's going to ask that. I just don't know how that would work.
But also and particularly with a person in a position of authority, needs to think about the ramifications for them if in fact that young person is under the age of consent, and then the impact of them and what that can mean, obviously for the young person, but also for them and their career and their family as well.
Okay, John, thank you very much indeed. Well, there you go. John Brown, NSPCC's lead for tackling sexual abuse, and I kind of just think that I kind of think there's part of the problem. Yeah. It's old men, and I'm including me as an old man there, John. I'm not having I'm kind of making up that we're of a very similar age, early mid-40s, blimey. It's old men talking about 14, 15-year-old girls. What do we know about? And his heart is in completely the right place. I'm not knocking what he is trying to achieve, but I didn't buy any of that. And listen, a 40-year-old with an 18-year-old girl, guess what? It happens quite a lot. It would make me uncomfortable, but, why would a 40-year-old want to go out with an 18-year-old? Well, duh, what do you think? What do you think?
It ain't for the conversation, that's for
No,
sure.
it happens a lot, and you can't go, listen, before I put this there, can I just phone your mum up? I just want to check your date of birth.
But you would know, wouldn't you? I mean, some of the
No.
references.
Oh.
I don't know. I think sometimes the way they think would certainly trigger alarm bells.
There are... No, I don't think it would. I
suppose it depends.
My
on
wife doesn't... doesn't get most of my popular cultural references. She's never, and it's just because there's 5 years difference, and there's not really that much difference.
But that's not the age thing. That's because she's been brought up by someone.
No, I think it's partly because she's been brought up by a Greek mum, but also partly it is the age thing. I was watching significantly different programmes and listening, and also 15 and 18, their popular cultural reference window is not that big. They're going to know probably the same things. And while this story is different, and we're going off on a tangent.
Well, he knew, didn't he? Of course,
he knew. But I just think that you got their heart's in the right place. But do you know what? I've got a few issues with the NSPCC. They come on like that, and I just don't think. I think they're coming from the wrong angle. Am I right? Am I being a little bit unfair? Your thoughts, please. 08459 455 555.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
On the M1 southbound, there are delays from junction 12 at Flitwick to 10 for Luton Airport because of a breakdown earlier. And also there are queues on the M25 because of a car fire between junction 24 for Potters Bar and 23 for South Mims. All the lanes are open, but it's still really slow. And on the A405 North Orbital Road, that's also suffering because of that. There are queues between the Park Street roundabout and the M25 at junction 21A for St Albans. And it's also affecting the A414 westbound between the Park Street roundabout and St Albans at the junction for the A1M junction 3 at South Hatfield. In Hardyston on the A10, that's really slow northbound between the Harlow turnoff and the Hardyston roundabout in the roadworks. And the A40 into London is slow from the Wakeley's roundabout towards Gypsy Corner. No reports of any delays at the moment on the trains though. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you, Sammy. I've made JVS blush. Look, it's unusual. It's 8. You compose yourself, love. I'll do this. 8:17. It's Thursday, the 21st of May. I'm Iain Lee. These are your headlines on BBC Three Counties Radio. A man from Hertfordshire is among 8 men who've been charged over the raid on a Hatton Garden safe deposit firm in London. The NSPCC says children are lying about their age online all too frequently after an Aylesbury teacher was banned from teaching after dating a 15-year-old girl. And former England striker Teddy Sheringham will be confirmed as the new Stevenage manager at a lunchtime press conference. That's so exciting.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Football. You all right, sweet cheeks?
Yes, I'm just looking at your attire today. You got your shirt out, haven't you?
Got my shirt out. I always have my shirt. What do you mean my shirt out?
Why don't you tuck your shirt in nicely?
Because it's not 1989. Because my mum doesn't dress me anymore.
What?
No one tucks their shirt in. If I was wearing a suit, which I will be later on, guys, hey, I'm going to Leeds.
Why would you do that?
For work. And is there anything to do in Leeds?
I have no idea. I've never been there, nor had the least desire.
The last time I was in Leeds, I stayed in the same hotel that they'd used to display the body of Jimmy Savile. That's all I know about Leeds is Jimmy Savile.
Is that where he came from?
Probably.
That's an omen.
Well... so I mean, is there anything, if anybody knows anything to do in Leeds, 08459 455. I mean, just the name of it, Leeds. It sounds bleak, doesn't it?
Oh, I couldn't think of anything worse. Why are you going up there?
Bit of work, mate.
Oh,
little bit of work.
Never turn down work, even if it's in the north. That's my motto.
They'll pay me in like pounds, yeah, won't they?
I think so.
Oh, thank goodness for that. I was worried there for a second.
Potentially Scottish pounds.
Trying to get rid of a Scottish £10 note is the worst thing. Hey, you're a bit poncy. I was in North London last night. I'm getting all over the country.
Right.
Did you see the picture I tweeted of the glass?
I didn't see the picture you tweeted. No.
I went into it wasn't a particularly swanky restaurant.
Yeah.
But I went into this place to get a burger very quickly. And a couple sat down next to me and my friend and started snogging on the same table, like proper.
Disgusting.
But then this is what they served my water in.
What?
Yeah. It's a jam jar.
It's a jam jar.
It's a jam jar.
Well, surely you didn't accept that.
Well, I did.
Where was this? Shoreditch or somewhere like
Highgate.
that? Highgate.
It's a jam jar. It was a jam jar. All of this nonsense. It's. I mean, it makes you want to commit. No wonder there were riots a couple of years ago. They're probably protesting against that sort of stuff.
There's some very silly people.
Oh, there are, aren't they? I'd have thought you'd like that because you.
No, I don't like silly things like that.
No, okay, you like your glass.
I've ever told you about the time I took my nan out to a gastropub.
Yeah.
And they, you know, the way it's quite fashionable to serve your burger on a piece of wood.
Oh, there's a campaign called We Want Plates, and it's,
oh right.
Yeah,
well, my nan would like to join that because she said, "I'll have the burger, please," and the waitress put down this, you know, and my nan touched her on the arm. She said, "Excuse me, dear, you've left my food on the chopping board." And she said, no, that's what we serve it on, madam. She said, what, on a chopping board?
It's outrageous.
It's not very hygienic. Can I have a plate, please? She told this poor young waitress off.
Good for her. We should. It's people like your gran. May God bless her soul. We should all be speaking.
She's still
out.
alive.
Is she?
Yeah, that one.
Oh, that one is. It's the other one that passed away. Sorry. Well, God bless her soul, and let's keep our fingers crossed. But people like her, we should be speaking out more. We've been brainwashed to accept this nonsense, and she's right.
But it all comes from London. See, the silly jam jar business. I think they serve like a poached egg in a trainer now, don't they?
Yeah, they do. They do. And also, she's right because the wood retains germs. The wood sinks in.
That's right.
It absorbs the germs. A plate, you can wash it.
Exactly.
Well, good for your nan.
It's these trendy student types in London who think, oh, let's serve spaghetti bolognese in a computer keyboard. That would be really fun, and then people have to pick it out.
Can I get some wine? Yes, please. What's this? It's a catheter. It's just.
Exactly.
It's disgusting.
Yeah.
Disgusting. Is that what's on your show this morning?
No.
Dog poo being painted red?
No, that was a contender.
Okay, what have you gone for then? This will be interesting.
Foxes.
Oh, go on then. Yeah.
From 9 this morning, I'm going to be asking, would you like to see all the foxes killed?
Flippin'!
What?
You don't mess around.
We've learnt today that on winning the general election, David Cameron sent a text to the pro-fox hunting lobby to thank them for their support. The Conservative manifesto promises a free vote on whether we should overturn the ban on fox hunting. We may expect that vote to occur later this year. The question is, would you like to see hunting groups across the country given the green light to positively target foxes and keep the population down? And if the answer is yes, would you also like more action to be taken in urban areas to keep foxes away from our houses and gardens as well? There's an interesting article recently. You know the columnist Andrew Pearce?
Yes, I do, yes.
He's had a fox in his house 2 days running. He's furious. Joanna Lumley, meanwhile, apparently has been writing...
Feeds them?
Well, she puts out food for them.
And they come and sit on her sofa?
And actually, since I moved to the countryside, I'm not telling you where, you don't see foxes. You know why? Because every morning when I take my dog for a walk, I hear bang, bang, bang in the fields.
Wow.
It's the farmers.
Oh, I thought you meant doggers. Okay, yeah.
It's the farmers. Yes. In the urban areas, you see foxes because no one's managing them.
No one's shooting them, yeah.
Well, from 9 this morning, I'd like your reaction. Would you like to see all the foxes killed? Your reaction on 08459 455 555 from 9.
Can I save you a bit of time? Yeah. Keep that script you've got there. Keep that sentence. Save it, and then just each morning take the word foxes out. Fat people. Take the word fat people out. You
want fat people killed?
No. I just think that's
nice. No,
I just think it's a brilliant question. There's no messing around with that. There's no skirting. Boom, you're straight in there.
Well, that's what you do with foxes.
Boom,
kill them.
Every Sunday morning from 9.
I play soul music. I've always had a deep love of soul music. Soul music is such happy music anyway. When I say soul music, I'm talking about Motown and Philadelphia.
Tony Blackburn.
The artists that I'd play really would be people like Luther Vandross, Alexandra Neil, Sister Sledge, a lot of the Motown, Diana Ross and the Supremes.
With 2 hours of great soul music for Sunday morning.
There's some good new soul records that come out. I do include them, but they're mainly classics. Most people like hearing music from the 70s and 80s, and particularly the jazz funk era.
Tony Blackburn.
Music has been and always has been a very strong part of my life.
Every Sunday morning from 9 on BBC Three Counties Radio.
If you love music so much, Tony, why don't you get down on one knee and give it a kiss on its bottom? Chris is on the line. Morning, Chris.
Morning, Ian.
What's wrong? You sound a bit down. Normally you're shouting.
I think I'm getting a cold.
Oh, man. It sounds like you're on an aeroplane.
Oh, thank you.
You're very welcome.
I wish I was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got an idea for an educational video game.
Oh, brilliant. Oh, we were talking about video games. Yeah, lovely. Go on.
I think what you should do is, like, say, get a mathematics one.
Yeah.
Attach the electrodes to the child.
Oh.
And then if they don't get it right, they get blasted. And I'm going to become a professor. I'll buy myself a white coat because I thought that was a brilliant idea. They won't get it wrong often, will they?
What if that? Don't snort too much. It might come out. What if they're thick, Chris? Because some kids are just thick.
They'll feel a lot of pain then, won't they?
Thanks for calling, Chris.
Thanks.
We've just we've just had the NSPCC on, and so far we've talked about beating up 11-year-olds and electrocuting children. Flippin' heck. It's taking a dark turn, hasn't it? 08459 455 555. Glenn's on the line. Good morning, Glenn.
Morning, Ian.
Glenn, what have you got for me?
Places near Leeds, which you should go and have a look
Isn't
at.
that interesting? I'm going to Leeds. I'm looking for places in Leeds, and you've said places near Leeds, implying there's nothing in Leeds.
Well, there is. I used to go up to Eschalt a lot.
Yes.
It's a little village, and it's the original Emmerdale set.
Oh, Glenith, you're joking, really?
It is, yeah. The bullpack is there. The post office there.
Is Mr. Wilkes there and Amos Brearley?
No, and inside the pub is totally different.
Oh.
It's not like it is in the set, but it is still nice. It's just worth going up there and having a drink in the pub.
See, I still call it Emmerdale Farm.
Yeah. It always is Emmerdale Farm.
What was that woman's name? Annie Sugden, of course.
Annie Sugden and Jack and Joe.
Annie Sugden ruled that farm with an iron rod. She'd be disgusted at the way it's turned.
But she'd always got something on the go, hadn't she? Eating.
Yeah, always eating something. Glenn, thank you very much indeed. Always eating and cooking. So I was kind of looking at places to go on a holiday for like a couple of days away. Okay, just for a couple of days away. And I kind of got the idea that I fancy staying in a lighthouse. You can rent lighthouses. I think you can rent lighthouses. And I was looking, and lots of them say, it's the cottage next to the lighthouse. I want the lighthouse. I want to sleep in a lighthouse.
You want to go up those stairs?
I want to go up the stairs, right, and I want to sleep by the light. But then I found one, and then it said, you get the horn with this one.
What?
Yeah, you get the horn with this lighthouse.
They don't normally throw that in.
No, and I was thinking, what does that mean? And the horn goes off, like every half hour or something. Well, that's going to disturb the kids.
Yeah.
That would terrify the kids. So then I started looking at windmills.
Right.
Because I think it'd be nice just to... I want to stay in something phallic, I guess, is what I'm trying to say here. So I was looking at windmills, but they're all booked up.
Oh.
Apart from one in Norfolk.
Haunted one, eh?
Well, I would hope so. It doesn't specify whether it's haunted. You can't tick the box when you're looking for amenities, walks, pets, children friendly. There's not a box for haunted, but you would have to assume that any windmill that you were going to stay in was, because people used to die in windmills all the time, literally all the time. 08459 455 555 is the telephone number if you want to give us a call. 81333. Start your text 3CR. We'll have a little chitty chat with Justin Dealey in a bit. It's been a weird morning. We've sent him to where has he gone?
Harpenden.
Thank you. To ask the people of Harpenden what he should be asking the people of Harpenden this morning. We've gone meta, baby.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
There are delays on the M25 because the lane's been blocked between junction 17 for Maple Cross and 16 for the M40 by a two-car accident, with delays reaching back to junction 18 for Chorleywood. The M25 has queues anti-clockwise as well between junction 24 for Potters Bar and 23 for the A1M at South Mims because of the car fire earlier. On the M1 southbound, there are queues from junction 12 for Flitwick towards junction 10 for Luton Airport, and in Hardyston on the A10 there are queues northbound from the Harlow turnoff towards the Dardyston roundabout. That's in both directions because of the roadworks there. No reports of any delays on the trains though. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Sammy, thank you very much. It's interesting, isn't it? I asked for what can I do in Leeds. The best thing that Glegg could come up with was something near Leeds. Is there anything? Is there anything in Leeds? Or am I just going to go up there, do the gig and then come back home? 08459 455 555.
Across beds, hearts and bugs.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's 8:30. I'm Simon Oxley. A man from Hertfordshire is among 8 men who have been charged over the raid on a Hatton Garden safe deposit firm in London. 58-year-old Carl Wood from Cheshunt will appear in court this morning. Foreign nationals caught working illegally in the UK could have their wages seized as part of measures to be set out by David Cameron today. And train companies across this region have started cancelling services over the bank holiday weekend because of the planned strike by Network Rail workers.
Three Counties Sports.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Former England striker Teddy Sheringham will be unveiled as the new Stevenage manager today. There's a lunchtime press conference at the Lamex Stadium. The former Spurs and Manchester United star will take over from Graham Westley after the borough confirmed that Westley's contract would not be renewed. It's Sheringham's first managerial role after a coaching role at West Ham. But our Stevenage commentator Steve Watkins says he will be hoping to emulate another former top-flight striker who won League Two this season.
It's worked for Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank at Burton, albeit he's the side he's got is one that was there when he came in. Sheringham's got to build a side, but, look at the bigger picture. West Ham, he's bound to have links there with West Ham and, loanees and that sort of thing, and very good contacts, I'm sure, through the Premiership.
Watford goalkeeper Aurelio Gomez has signed a new 3-year contract, and Sunderland are safe from relegation from the Premier League after a goalless draw at Arsenal last night. The final relegation place now rests between Hull and Newcastle. England's cricketers start the first test against New Zealand at Lords this morning after the latest Kevin Peterson debate and changes behind the scenes. Captain Alistair Cook says the players have to remain focused on the match.
As England players now, we have to focus, as always sportsmen do, on what's ahead of us, which is a fantastic test match at Lords. Adam Lyth making his debut, and I think all that excitement and all what he's feeling this week, I think all the players are really in tune with that.
And practice starts this morning for Sunday's Monaco Grand Prix. Championship leader Hertfordshire's Lewis Hamilton yesterday signed a new 3-year contract with Mercedes worth a reported £100 million. But he says it's all about winning races.
Win the Grand Prix, win the Monaco Grand Prix. I'm massively proud, and I think you don't celebrate it, you just, maybe I should do it. Maybe the best way I could reward myself is by performing the way that I know the team believe that I can and how I believe I can.
BBC Three Counties News and Sports. The next full bulletin is at 9.
Call 08459 455 555.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
I want to say a big thank you to the fans, to my family, to my team.
Oh, for goodness sakes! Why is that man even allowed? The thing I don't get, right, is motor racing. It's so dull. It's boring, and now that they're not allowed to crash into each other, it's even more boring because no one overtakes, OK? They do all this thing where they talk about their teams and their team loyalty. There's no team loyalty, Justin. It's... Oh, blimey, you're right.
Just erecting myself, sorry.
There's no team loyalty. It's, I really want to stay with McLaren. Well, yeah, if Red Bull, which is a drink, not a car manufacturer, by the way, if they write a cheque with an extra 0 at the end, you'll go to them.
Why don't you just be a man for once? Come on, all this knocking of sport, get some testosterone.
Hey, listen, I like sports, mate. Motor racing ain't sports. Driving ain't... I'm going to drive for 3 hours today up to Leeds, right? Is that sport? No, it's driving.
Well, it depends who gets there first.
What? Well, I will get there first.
It's a talent to drive a vehicle fast. It's a talent. Stop. You try it.
All right, easy. All I have done, mate. That's why I've got 9 points. The talent is not getting caught. That's a joke. It's not talent, right? It's all about now. It's all about machinery and science.
Right.
The best car wins. It's
right.
And also, you name me, Justin. Here you go, Justin. Here's a little teaser for you,
go
mate.
On, come on. Yeah.
You name me one interesting motor racing driver.
I would say Jenson Button.
Right. Kelly, could you find me some audio, please, of Jenson Button talking?
He's a proper lad.
No, he's not.
He is.
I bet he talks like that.
No, Lewis Hamilton, I've met him. Do you know what? He's a very, very talented man. I respect him a lot, but he's a bit dull. He's a bit boring.
This is what Hamilton sounds like.
I want to say a big thank you to the fans, to my family, to my team.
Yeah, but Jenson Button's different. He loves what he does.
No.
He loves it, and do you know what? He plays on it.
It doesn't matter. Ken Bruce loves what he does. He's dull.
But if you are going to be, if you're going to be a racing driver,
yes, mate,
that then means that you are going to be, well, hopefully for you, getting the best-looking girls and living the life. That's exactly what Jenson Button does, and he loves every second of it.
Have you seen all of the pictures of Lewis Hamilton that've been in the papers recently of him looking like a gangster?
Yes.
Looking gangster. You're not a gangster.
Yeah.
You're a spoilt little rich kid with no personality who's batting way above his average. You know, sorry?
We should be proud. He's from Stevenage.
Oh, mate. I mean, really?
Come
it's
on.
a motor racing. 08459 455 555. Motor racing, it ain't a sport. It ain't interesting, and the people what do it is dull.
People pay, and one of my friends went to Dubai last year.
Dubai what? Did he keep the receipt?
And went to Dubai for the racing. Absolutely loved it. People pay thousands of pounds to go and watch this stuff.
Yeah, you know what kind of people, don't you?
What?
Idiots.
People who just love their sport.
It's not a sport, mate. You're right. Okay, so here's the thing, and I've been to Silverstone, okay, and I've worked at Silverstone, mate, on a racing programme.
Okay.
So I know a little bit more about it than you do. Yeah, that's right. I saw Miss Dynamite smash her car and get rushed to hospital. I saw that happen literally feet away from me. Right?
Don't need your life story, but yeah, carry on.
Okay. All you're doing is you're sat, right? You're sat. I was in the pits, so I saw a bit more than everyone else, and even that was dull, right?
Yeah.
You're sat there. Nothing. 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 Nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing. No, nothing. That's it, mate. You're paying thousands of pounds for that? You're an idiot.
If you drove one of those vehicles at those speeds, you would die, my friend. That's why it's a talent. That's why it's a sport.
You're like the people who invented the rocket? Stephenson, right? When Robert Louis Stevenson, he wrote Treasure Island. Doesn't matter. When they invented the first steam train, do you know why people were scared to get on it?
Why?
Because they thought, right, this is true. When the first steam train was invented, people were scared to get on it because no one had ever moved at such speeds before, and they thought their insides would implode.
Yeah.
That's true, right?
Okay.
And you're saying the same thing about motor racing. Here's Jenson Button. Let's see how interesting Jenson Button is. Shall we have a listen? Here we go.
Post-season, yeah. I mean, I feel I did everything I could this year, and it's never an easy year when you have a car that's not so competitive, but I feel I did the best I could. I enjoyed most of my racing, and especially the last few races were great fun, finishing fourth.
Sounds like fun, mate, yeah.
Most of the last races, so enjoyable, good battles out there, and yeah, we'll see.
He sounds like when you ask when your uncle comes over, right? And you've run out of conversation with him in 5 minutes. You go, so which way did you come up?
He's just being professional.
There were some good battles out there. Came 4th or 5th, had a bit of fun. We took the M1, but that was closed at junction 10, so we had to come off. But we followed the A5 round, and we. It's boring. They're boring people. It's a boring sport, Justin, and you know it.
No,
you know it.
I
dude.
don't
You're
agree
just
on
doing
this
this
one.
to be controversial.
No, I'm not controversial. They're talented people who earn millions of pounds, living a fantastic life, having what they want when they want. Who wouldn't be happy with that?
Nurses, Justin.
Okay.
Nurses wouldn't be happy who do a much more important job and earn a fraction of what Jenson Button earns.
I'm not denying that for a second.
Yes, you are, mate.
No,
Basically,
I'm not.
You're looking down at nurses. That's what you've done. You've said racing car drivers are more important than nurses. 08459 455 555. Who's right on this, me or just?
Yes.
Hang on a minute. Mr. T?
What's your jibber jabber, Ian? How you doing, sucker?
He said sucker. He said sucker, I hope.
Sucker, I always...
I'm right, aren't I, Mr. T?
I never really understood Formula One or any type of car racing because, I don't really like sports, but it's interesting. It's interesting what humans can do with decent engineering.
Well, see, even he's made it sound boring, Justin, and he's Mr. T.
Yeah, but you missed the key point there. He's not a fan. If you're not a fan, you're not going to come on the radio and say motor racing is absolutely fantastic, it's full of talented people. You're not going to do that, are you?
He can make a tank out of a bin, this fella, you know.
No, I'd say the aerodynamics and the engine tuning and everything else. When you meet some of the people,
the science is interesting, but even that's boring.
Science is amazing. Yeah, science is amazing.
Justin, I'm afraid, mate, it's not looking good for you.
Well, I'm just putting the facts out there, and if you want to deal with them in a very childish way,
Yes,
that's
I do.
entirely up to you.
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Yes, I do.
Fair enough.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
All right.
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Yeah, I do.
Point taken.
Yes, I do.
All right.
Yeah, I do. Yes, I do, actually, as it happens. So, what are you going to do about that?
Why?
Because I want to.
Why?
Because I want to.
Why?
Because I want to.
Okay.
Yeah. So what are you going to do about it?
Just going to let you carry on.
Thank you. Good. Excellent. I think I won that, Mr. T. Stay there, Justin. Mr. T, what would you like to say?
I was listening to you this morning and about the teacher who got in trouble with dating the 15-year-old.
Yeah.
I totally agree. He was inappropriate to continue the relationship after he found out her age. That was completely pervy and weird. But I have to admit that, kids are a bit manipulative about their ages. When I was 16, I was telling Catherine that I actually got a job of being a bouncer in a club for people who are supposed to be 21 and above.
But the thing is, and the NSPCC, I just think their heart's in the right place, right? But it sounds like a bunch of old people telling kids, don't do this. Kids have always lied about their age. They've always done it. I've done it. There were 14-year-old girls at my school going out with 20-year-olds who, because they said they were 18. It happens. I'm not saying it's appropriate, and anyone that goes out with anyone under 16. But also when the guy said, well, why would a 40-year-old want to go out with an 18-year-old? Why do you think?
Why do you think, exactly? And it's not even, I can't even say the whole male-female thing, with the older teacher. When I was, the bouncer, I was going out with older girls or older women who had no clue how old I was. They just knew, that's the decent-looking black dude who's working there. Because I was the only black guy in town.
Can I just say, Mr. T, well done. Because you were about to big yourself up. You said hot, and then you took it down a notch to decent. And that, Justin, is class.
Fair play.
That is real
Well
class.
done.
Mr. T, thank you very much indeed.
Good point, though. I mean, people for years and years and years have been lying about their age, and that will never, ever stop. Fact.
We've all done. I'm not, I mean, it's confusing this story because this guy found out she wasn't 18 and he still continued to see her, and that is obviously
that's wrong. Yep.
That's inappropriate. But I mean, sorry, you got a message, mate? Do you want to get that?
Yeah, yes, fine.
I tell you what, should we play your audio?
Yeah, I think we should do.
Okay, fine. What did we do in the end?
Well, I'm on the streets of Harpenden this morning. Sometimes you get a real attitude in Harpenden. You asked me to go out because you were saying there's absolutely nothing in the papers again, despite you being promised that once the election was out of the way, there will be stories every single day. You're not a happy bunny. So we couldn't really find anything to take to the streets.
Yeah.
You flipped it round and you said, I tell you what, why don't you go on the streets of Harpenden and ask the people what we should be talking about?
Yeah.
What would they like us to be talking about this morning?
Yes.
Oh, dearie me.
Oh.
This was tough work. Really, really tough.
Oh.
This is the best the people of Harpenden could come up with.
Blimey.
Tom, you're 18 years old. Nice quiff, nice tie. Tom, what's the question we should be asking our listeners today?
How should the current voting system be fixed?
Blimey.
Is that as good as it gets? Nothing else for us? Nothing exciting?
Bush did 9/11.
Wow. Okay, it's a conspiracy theory. Thank you very much. Michael, put it out there. What's your big phone in for the people of Beds, Herts and Bucks this morning, sir? What should we be talking about?
Using less water in the shower to conserve our resources in the area to support the environment.
Oh, dear.
Yeah, again, I'm sure that'll get the phone lines ringing off the hook. Thanks for your time, boss.
Cheers, buddy. I'm sorry, pal.
Jordan. Keep the noise down, Mr. Bus Driver. Jordan, what's the question we should be putting out there? What's the big phone in? What should we be talking about?
Whether or not people should support UKIP or not.
That's your question?
That is my question.
Come on, you're a young guy, you've got a trendy T-shirt on, and that's your question. It can be anything. That is seriously your question.
Okay, okay, whether or not video games are an influence to young people or not.
Wow. OK, mate, have a good day, yeah?
Thank you.
OK, Brian, make it sexy, OK? What's your phone in? What should we be asking the people this morning?
How to improve Luton Town Centre. The Kenilworth Road area, Berry Park.
Yeah.
It's a disgrace. Absolute disgrace.
So you'd like people to phone in and give their opinions. Do you think they'll have similar opinions to you?
Yes, I do. Yep.
OK. All right, that's not a bad one, to be fair. Thank you very much.
OK, cheers.
This is why no one's listening, just because we're not. It turns out we're not asking the questions that they want us to ask.
I mean, incredible. An hour on the streets of Harpenden, and that's the best they can come up with.
Well, I mean, if anyone wants to, today I am questioning, Justin, whether I've got it all wrong. If anyone wants to answer those questions, then you can give us a call and answer those questions.
Let's give the number. 08459 455 555, and the phones go.
I'm led to believe, by the way, I'm led to believe, according to somebody who claims to be an expert on the streets this morning, that in Hertfordshire we use... this is great. In Hertfordshire we use more water than anywhere else in the UK.
Whoa! Hang on a second. That's an interesting water fact. What a fact!
Exactly.
You feature on the show. What a fact! And it's a pun on what a fact and water fact.
Yeah.
And call us now as we play What a Fact! 08459 455 555. Your fact about water.
What have you wet this morning?
What a fact! Does it sound like I'm being racist?
No.
Okay, I'm not. In my head, it sounds like a Chinese man.
What
a fact!
Well, it does now. No, you've said that.
Yeah. All right. Okay.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
There are long queues on the M1 southbound from junction 12 for Flitwick to junction 10 for Luton Airport because of a breakdown earlier. On the M25 there's still queues anti-clockwise because of an accident between junction 17 for Maple Cross and 16 for the M40, with tailbacks reaching to junction 19 for Watford. All the lanes have been reopened, but it's really slow still. And in Howwood on the North Orbital Road, that's still slow between St Albans at the M25 junction 21A and the Park Street roundabout because of problems on the M25 earlier. In Hoddesdon on the A10 northbound there are queues between Ware and the A10 at the Hoddesdon roundabout because of the roadworks, and the A1 is slow approaching the Black Cat roundabout from the St Neots junction. On the trains there's no reports of any problems at the moment, but Network Rail are striking from 5 on Monday to 5 on Tuesday, so there'll be severely reduced rail services across the UK from Monday through to Wednesday. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you, Sammy. 8:46. It is Thursday, the 21st of May. I'm Iain Lee. These are your headlines on BBC Three Counties Radio. A man from Hertfordshire is among 8 men who've been charged over the raid on Hatton Garden safe deposits firm in London. Foreign nationals caught working illegally in the UK could have their wages seized as part of measures to be set up by David Cameron today. And former England striker Teddy Sheringham will be confirmed as the new Stevenage manager at a lunchtime press conference.
Beds, Herts and Bucks weather.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Hello, very good morning to you. It's going to be dry and fine today. There'll be lots of sunshine around too. A little bit of cloud coming and going at times. And we're looking at top afternoon temperatures, certainly higher than we've been seeing over the last few days. We'll probably get up to around 18, possibly 19 Celsius, 66 in Fahrenheit. Just a fairly light westerly breeze. Overnight tonight, it'll be a milder night than we've been used to. Lows of around 8 or 9 degrees. Some milder air pushing in from the northwest. And possibly a few misty conditions developing over the hills too into tomorrow morning. And tomorrow a cloudier day. It will stay dry until we get to the afternoon when we may just see a couple of showers form, but most places dry for most of the day. Some spells of brightness and sunshine, but fairly limited. There will be quite a lot of cloud, but it will be even warmer with temperatures widely up to 20 or 21 degrees Celsius, I suspect. Over the course of the bank holiday weekend, there's lots of sunshine all the way, particularly on Saturday and on Sunday morning. Clouding over on Sunday afternoon. By the time we get to Monday, then it will be feeling a bit fresher and we could be seeing a few showers in places, but lots of decent weather around this bank holiday. That's the forecast.
Every weekday morning.
Coming up at 9 on the Big Phone In this morning, is it a good idea to make jobless teenagers work for their benefits?
How would you like this country to stand up to President Putin? Are you surprised to see British people being blatantly racist?
The JVS Show.
I think we've got to get over this issue about racism doesn't exist. It has existed. It will probably carry on existing.
What I wanted to say is they've got this completely the wrong way around.
You know, that is also true. That is also true.
You will always get some, but they are such
a minority.
I think the man's a buffoon.
Get him up, get him out of bed, give him a sense of purpose.
The JVS Show.
Do you think we have got to, as a country, start taking this issue more seriously?
Every weekday morning on BBC Three Counties Radio. Call 08459 455 555.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
David on Twitter asks a question which I know the answer to, but I'd never noticed before.
Go on.
Question that needs to be asked. I know the answer, but I hadn't noticed it before. Why are the numbers on all phones in different positions to the numbers on all calculators? I hadn't noticed that before. I just checked on my telephone and my calculator. They are different. On the phone, top left to right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Yeah.
Calculator, bottom left, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Right. Why then?
Well, the answer is as to why phones, the numbers are there, is because the number is linked to a letter.
Yes.
So one is A, B, C, D, E, F. So that's why it's doing it in alphabetical order. And calculators, that's just the way, maths works.
They don't need letters.
Sheila's in St Albans. Morning, Sheila.
Good morning. My number 1 hasn't got any letters on it. It starts at number 2.
You're correct. You're correct, Sheila. As I said it, I thought, I'm not sure if this is right, but very rarely do I fact check, and I'm glad you're on board to sort that out. Thank you.
That's right.
You're very welcome.
Windmills.
Yes.
Norfolk.
Yes.
Was it Cly or Clay to you next to C that you looked at?
Oh, I don't know. It was a brown one.
Well, this one actually I stayed in and my niece got married in.
Oh no, I did look at that one. Yes, I did. Yes, but that's a hotel, isn't it? So there are kind of. I want a whole windmill. Was it nice?
You can hire the whole windmill as a family.
I see.
And you can have your food done for you.
Oh, I see.
And the rooms get smaller and the steps get very tight.
Beautiful.
And it's the singer.
Neil Diamond?
No.
Dennis Roussos?
No.
Nana Muscuri?
The guy who was in the army.
Tony Bennett?
No.
Matt Munro?
No.
He was a milkman.
But his parents had the windmill prior to...
The guy that was a singer in the army? Harry Seacombe?
No. It's quite odd, actually, because the person who owns it now is one of in the doctors in St Albans. So I should have asked him for mates rates, shouldn't I?
Well, hang on. What do you mean there's a doctor in... What? I'm so confused.
Right,
Who's the singer?
The people who previously owned it...
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Their son became the singer, and he was in the army. People take a lot of... I think people take the mick out of him or something.
What singer in the army? Elvis?
Oliver's army.
I don't... Sheila, I'm not being deliberately obtuse.
I think you are.
No, I'm not. I'm not. Honestly.
Right.
What singer?
He's quite well known.
What's his name?
I honestly can't remember. He's not somebody I buy his music of, but apparently he's quite well known. He's always a bit sober-sides. I think people take...
Sober-sides?
Yeah, sober-sides, yeah. Always looks a bit...
I don't know what that word
Van
means.
Morrison?
No.
Do you mean he's glum?
Yeah, I suppose
James
he looks...
Blunt was in the army.
James Blunt.
Yes, thank you.
James Blunt. Oh, once Kelly and Catherine start chipping in, you start answering their questions. When I'm asking which singer, you stonewall me.
Well, no, because you were I was just waiting for you to come up with him. But James Blunt, James Blunt's parents own the particular windmill.
And does the windmill, does it still go round, or is that frozen now?
I don't know. I know there's a walk. You can go for a walk round halfway. There's that looks out over the marshes, so you can stand there and look over the marshes.
Because I just think that the boys would we could go and stay in a hotel for a couple of nights, and we may end up doing that. But the boys would love have a couple of nights in a windmill or something a little bit, something willy shaped, to be honest, but it's something a little bit different.
Do you know what I'm going to lend you if you do it?
Yeah.
Round the twist. I've got the box set.
What's that?
They lived in a lighthouse.
Oh, beautiful.
Weird things happened.
But this particular windmill, you can either book it for yourselves, i.e. 1 or 2, depending on how many are already booked, or you can actually, which apparently some people do, book the whole thing for Christmas or a week, have a whole load of people there.
I suspect, as is often the case, Sheila, I've left it too late to book my summer holidays, and also I'm not earning what I was earning 5 years ago, so I doubt booking the whole of that of James Blunt's windmill is a possibility, but...
Well, not with friends and family.
Oh.
All chipping in, is it?
Are you offering?
What, to chip in?
Yeah.
No.
Sheila, nice to talk to you.
Bye-bye.
Ta-ta.
She thought about it for a second.
She thought about it. I'm just looking for someone to look after the kids when we go out.
I'll have him.
Christina!
Hello.
Yes.
Hello, how are you?
Yes. I'm
Wow.
all right, thank you, Christina. Yeah, what have you got for us?
Well, cowboy builders. It
Yes.
should be people who come into your house and break things. It should be a crime. Why isn't it a crime? It seems to be no one realises that if someone comes into your house and you pay them, but they break things, they should pay for it. That makes sense, doesn't it? Is that fair?
Makes sense, it's fair. Tell us.
It makes sense.
I'm assuming this has happened to you.
Yes, it's hilariously funny now, but in February, a builder who was recommended
Yes.
came into my house and said, "Oh, yes, I can do your bathroom for you." So I went and bought the product, and he came with me, and he put in a shower and a shower enclosure.
Yeah.
And he also put in a bath and a toilet. Bath.
Bath, right.
Bath.
Bath.
Yes, bath and a sink basin.
Yeah.
None of them are done correctly. If you get in the bath, you stand in the bath, and it sounds like Frankenstein's coming up the stairs because it creaks from left to right. And if you sit on the toilet, it's like being on the Titanic because it rocks from side to side. It's not on the floor. It's not attached to the wall. And the sink is not attached to anything. So my bathroom is a disaster.
And what? Did you pay him?
Yeah, I paid him because it was like halfway through the job and things seemed to be going well until I realised.
Well, Christina, listen, no, everybody knows
You know
you don't pay them until it's finished.
Hindsight is a good thing.
No, so is common sense and not being a
Common
numpty.
sense is also a good thing. So if someone says that they're a builder or a plumber, you can't believe them, can you?
Well, you can believe they're a builder or a plumber, yes. You could
No,
believe
you can't,
that.
because he said he was.
Well, you could believe it.
It's
But
true.
how
You
long
can
ago
believe
was this,
most things.
Christina?
It was February.
Right, OK. And have you spoken to him since?
Oh, about 43 emails
Wowzers.
and texts and
Right.
things.
And what's he
feigned-
said?
He came back at one stage, and then he feigned illness, a temporary heart attack, and was sweating profusely. Yes, because his neighbour saw him going out to work the following day.
I
so
once
it's all
called
very
out.
interesting.
I
Really.
once called out a builder who said that his mum had died and that he had cancer. Because he was late delivering a window by about 6 weeks. He said his van had been stolen, so that's why it's like okay. Then he was late the second time because his mum had died. Okay, and then the third time he said I'm going through personal issues. I said what? He said I'm not telling you, it's private. I said what? He said I've got cancer. I said, and I was really annoyed. I went, and it's a tough game to play, Christina, because if you get this wrong, you're in trouble. I went, cancer of the what? He went what? I said
Cancer of the what?
He said I've just got cancer.
Well, it's got it's a special one. It's called lazy bone cancer.
Yeah, I said, cancer of the what, mate? He said, listen, I don't need to go into details. I said, you're lying. You've not got cancer, and shame on you. Anyway, well,
see, I'm not upset now. Because everyone can phone in and share horror stories.
Well-
I want it to be a crime.
Okay.
I want people to pay because if you contact Trading Standards, they actually
Right.
tell you to write and phone
Christina,
43 times.
How? Here we go. I'm going to sew all this up nicely, and we're going to end on a positive note. How much do you listen to this radio station?
Well, I've been listening to it a lot recently.
Right.
It's quite exciting, isn't it?
Well, exciting is a strong word, and the radar figures wouldn't back that up. But have you heard the gentleman who's on after me, Mr. Jonathan Vernon Smith?
No.
Well, what have you been listening to then? Just me?
I've been out working,
Well,
and now I'm not working because
Right.
I've been signed off ill.
Oh, blimey.
I've found this radio station.
Well-
and I'm thinking this is good.
I tell you what's good, right? And boy, oh boy, Jonathan's going to thank me for passing this fruitcake over. Between 11 and 12, Jonathan Vernon Smith, who's on after me, he sorts out all of these problems on his consumer hour.
Oh, does he?
Honestly, that's what he does. Is he talks to numpties like you with no common sense, and he puts them straight. And he also speaks to the companies involved, and he does his darndest to get these things sorted out.
Yeah, but I don't know if this man can actually do it. I don't think he's capable.
Well, listen, what I'm going to do, we're going to pass your phone number on to Jonathan's team.
Awesome.
And they might have a little chat with you.
That'd be good.
If anyone could sort it out, JVS can.
Ooh.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I'm a bit impressed, but not very, because we'll see what happens, won't we?
Tough nut to crack. Right, I'll give you my personal guarantee that JVS will sort this out. You better sort this out now, mate. Flippin' heck. I don't know if you've seen the figures. We need as many listeners as we can get. Christina, stay on the line. We'll pass on your details. Honestly, between 11 and 12, he'd a man for this kind of ting.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
On the M25, there are delays anti-clockwise between junction 19 for Watford and 16 for the M40. That's because of an accident, but it's now on the hard shoulder. It's still really slow through there, though. In Hatfield, the North Orbital Road's also really busy between the Park Street roundabout and the A1M junction 3 because of those problems on the M25 this morning. In Hoddesdon, on the A10, there are queues northbound between the Harlow turnoff and the Hoddesdon roundabout in the roadworks. And in Sandy, on the A1, that's really slow southbound between Georgetown Road at the Agbar and New Road at Beeston. It's also looking slow on the speed sensors into High Wycombe on the A404 Marlow Hill. No reports any problems at the moment on the trains, though. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you, Sammy. Well, she was delightfully nuts, wasn't she? We've got a live one for you, Tim. Good luck. Oh, I will press the button. Sorry, look. Bit late. 4 seconds late. I hope you don't mind. That's it. That's your lot. Thank you very much, Catherine and Kelly and Justin. Back tomorrow at 6. Stick around because JVS is up next. It's a cracking listen if you've not heard it before. Until tomorrow at 6 from us. Ta-ta.
Local and vocal across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
Yes, thanks very much for that, Iain. Good morning. Welcome to the JVS show. I'm Jonathan Vernon Smith. It's Thursday, it's 9 o'clock, and on today's Big Phone In, would you like to see most foxes killed? We've learned today that on winning the general election, David Cameron sent a text to the pro-fox hunting lobby to thank them for their support. The Conservative manifesto promises a free vote on whether we should overturn the ban on fox hunting. We may expect that vote to occur later this year. The question is, though, would you like to see hunting groups across the country given the green light to positively target foxes and keep the population down? And if the answer's yes, would you also like more action taken in urban areas to keep foxes away from our houses and gardens as well? Pick up the phone. Come on and have your say this morning. Would you like to see most foxes killed? Here's my telephone number for your call. It's 08459 455 555.
This is the JVS show
on BBC Three Counties Radio.
I'll take your call in just a second, but first let's get the latest BBC News. It's 1 minute past 9. Here's Simon Oxley.
The headlines: Hertfordshire man charged with Hatton Garden raid, Cameron's speech to highlight tougher laws on immigration, and charity says Aylesbury teacher is responsible for online dating.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
A man from Hertfordshire is among 8 men who have been charged over the raid on a Hatton Garden safe deposit firm in London. 58-year-old Carl Wood from Elderbeck Close in Cheshunt has been charged with conspiracy to burgle, along with 7 others from London and Kent. The men are due to appear before Westminster Magistrates Court later. More from Ben Ando.
All 8 were among the 9 people who were arrested in raids carried out by the police on Tuesday at 12 different locations in London and in Kent. More than 200 police officers involved in that. And those raids coming, of course, just over 6 weeks after the burglary itself. The magistrates' hearing will be a very simple, straight up and down. It'll be a chance, if they wish to, for them to enter a plea, although they don't have to at this stage. The police investigation certainly is continuing.
Foreign nationals caught working illegally